Hello gamers, welcome to another DSP video. Can you believe it? Another one. This is gonna be a wild video to say the least. You know, it's just gonna be wild. I'll just leave it at that. Let's fucking go. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Just so wild and out of nowhere that it's now time to talk about it. I mean, this is something we've been talking about for 4 years, right?
Have we been talking about it for 4 years? Like, we talked about it when it had. So obviously this is talking about the Dr. Disrespect situation, obviously. And when it happened, DSP kind of used it as a way to like be like, see, Twitch banned me for no reason. Look what they're not even gonna tell us why they banned Dr. Disrespect and all this other shit. So like he was kind of like mentioning that, be like, oh man, look at this or whatever. But here we are today as the mystery is revealed as to what was going on, and we're gonna have the guy explain it because you're not here to watch me explain it. You're here to watch the guy explain it, obviously.
Okay, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's do it.
finally, in its entirety, the truth about the Dr. Disrespect situation has hit the internet straight from the horse's mouth. All
Look
right?
how much hype this dude has for this, by the way. He's like, I don't cover drama. I don't want to talk about other people's misery. Like, you know, he talked about this about Rich. You know, Rich was going through a lot of shit. Rich is going through a lot of shit right now. Let's just say that, right? Correct? But he won't cover that. But he'll cover this. You want to know why? Because probably in his little piggy brain, he probably thinks, you know, Dr. Disrespect is a bigger entity. So, like, him throwing a little stone at Dr. Disrespect is, like, you know, meaningless, nothing, whatever. But Rich is, like, equivalent. So, like, he's, you know, Rich, he's afraid Rich might fight back with more nonsense. Even though Rich is a pushover for Phil. Like, honestly. But whatever, okay.
Right? Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. 4 years ago, out of nowhere, Dr. Disrespect was outright banned from Twitch TV. Okay?
Okay.
And at the time, there were absolutely no information at all about why it happened. He wasn't saying anything. Twitch wasn't saying anything. They just said, oh, like a violation of terms of service, and that was it. So no one knew anything about what was happening at all, and it was very bizarre that one of their top, you know, streamers and earners would just be banned outright.
I'm just gonna say this. I hate that he says earners when it comes to like Twitch or anything for that matter. This dude gets so triggered when people are calling him a lolcow. Milking me! You're milking a human! He got so like bent out of shape over that, but talking about people like earners, it kind of makes him sound, you know, he got mad at Tricky Tom saying he's a lolcow because it made him look like cattle, man. But saying earners, that's kind of like reductive. You're reducing the person, man. You know what I mean? Come on.
Now, a lot of people started
But
getting
that's like beside the point.
worried and afraid. Does this mean that this is the beginning of it? It's going to happen to a lot of people. Well, it just so happens that after that happened, it did happen to a lot of people, but in various degrees of strength. For example,
Wow,
I
he
was removed
struggled.
from the Twitch partner program. When I asked why, they said hateful speech, and I said provide evidence of hateful speech because
It was hateful slurs, by the way, not hateful speech. I don't know why he wants to keep telling us it's hateful speech, but whatever. Okay.
I never used it. I want evidence, to which they said we don't have to provide evidence. Now, they did have to provide evidence. They did not, and I could have sued.
I like Twitch said we don't have to provide. Well, they did have to provide. But you know, if you go back to when Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch, DSP kept telling us, "Oh, it's in the terms of service, man. They could ban you for no reason and all this other shit." Like he said this so many times. Okay.
Sued them, just like Dr. Disrespect went ahead and sued them for banning him. I outright could have sued them and said, hey, this is nonsense. You have to prove that I did something wrong to financially punish me and kick me out of your program. But I didn't do that. Instead, I came here to YouTube, and I've been here now for the greater part of over, 3 years. And I liked being here. I don't have to worry about walking on eggshells and being falsely accused of things I don't do. Okay?
If that's the case, then why can't he play Catherine or whatever? I mean, there's stuff that he literally do because he literally skips because he can't play because he's afraid he's gonna get in trouble. Then why doesn't he, uh, do that shit? You know what I mean?
So anyway, after
Anyway.
this happening to me, by the way, it happened to others. It happened to Wings of Redemption. It happened to a lot of people on Twitch. I almost feel like the banning of Dr. Disrespect opened the door for Twitch to feel like.
The thing is, Twitch has been banning these accounts multiple times, even before Dr. Disrespect. I mean, LTG was banned off of Twitch before, and again, like, LTG and Wings have a legion of trolls that kind of, like, send reports, correct? And all this other shit. Like, I want to say it was LTG, that people kept, like, posting dicks in his stream, or whatever. Like, there was something he did that amounted to showing dicks on his stream, which got him banned. There's like that shit happened, and other stuff. Like, come on.
Like, they could go ahead and just start having consequences laid out for people that they deemed controversial and who essentially might be a risk to their public image, which is absolutely
This is all unsubstantiated. This is all like coincidental, circumstantial nonsense. Like, okay, they banned 2 people that are lolcows. Oh, they did it because they're controversial. Then what? Like, isn't like well, Wings got banned for copyright strikes though. But I think he still have his Twitch account. I don't know. I don't follow Wings. LTG I think still has his Twitch channel. Okay, whatever. All right.
absolutely hilarious because then they proceeded to turn the entire site into softcore porn.
But it's to make that point. To say that it's softcore porn. Again, bathtub streams aren't really porn. They're just bathtub streams. I mean, he's talking as if like you're seeing like actual fucking on stream, which sure it happened, but again, these are things that should be banned, I guess. But at the same time, you're watching 2 consensual adults fucking, I guess. If that's the case. Whatever, right? Correct? I mean, this is just kind of silly, if you ask me. He keeps bringing this up. Like, come on, move on.
So figure that one out.
Figure
right?
that one
I
out.
mean, it really doesn't make any fucking sense. It's obvious the people over there have no idea how to run a business and have always been unprofessional. Controversial and
This is
who
what it is
essentially
again.
might be a risk to their public image, which is absolutely hilarious because then they proceeded to
But,
turn the entire site
okay,
into softcore.
You know what? He's acting. Okay, you know what? I remember what I wanted to say about this. He's acting as if Twitch like orchestrated these streamers to like do softcore porn or whatever, even though that's not the case. They had a website, and let's go with this of his like theory that they want to get rid of the bad image or whatever. Isn't that why they wanted to change the NSFW policy on their site multiple times? Oh, you can now show naked bodies. Then they decided to walk that back or whatever. When the simple answer, in my opinion, could have just been a toggle. Like, just like have a thing where it's like, hey, you can filter out inappropriate streams from the homepage or whatever, or anything. Just have a specific category, and if they're not in the category, then ban them. I don't know, whatever, that kind of shit. But this dude is acting as if like Twitch never even tries to moderate or find a medium with sexual content, because again, artists also stream on Twitch and they may paint and they also draw some NSFW stuff too. So, how is that the same as like porn necessarily? It's not. So why should we ban nudity no matter what the form when it should be only against like stuff that is like actual porn? Is this all this stuff that's like an issue with the site that the site has to figure out? And to some degree they've been trying and failing, I guess. I don't know where they land now with adult content, but this is stuff that any website would have to figure out. You know what I mean? Come on.
Core porn. So figure that one out, right? I mean, it really doesn't make any fucking sense.
But it's
obvious
Fruitside
people over
Food
there
coming
have
out.
no idea how to run a business and have always been unprofessional. Anyway,
By the way, this dude showed actual porn on his YouTube stream. I love that he says Twitch has softcore porn and all this other stuff, but there were like 2 DSP versus the internet videos that had porn in it. Like, literally, it had porn. Especially the latest one where he didn't even record it, but he streamed it. I remember because I was restreaming it on my Twitch channel as I was playing Persona 3, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck happened here? It was something else. And that's on YouTube. He keeps acting as if Twitch is the only website with like sexual content. The only website, which is not even true. Come on now.
In regards to the Dr. Disrespect situation, things have happened over the years. You know, Dr. Disrespect left Twitch because he was banned and came to YouTube. Continued to be insanely successful here on YouTube, although he's outright admitted he makes less money on YouTube than he did on Twitch. That doesn't surprise me. Seriously, like on YouTube,
Seriously,
you just can't get the viewership you got on Twitch. There's none of that open, you know, look at the top streamers and people coming over. It's actually hard to even find live streams on YouTube. They don't have a section for it, really. And, you know, it's very engaging.
I don't think it's that hard, but whatever.
YouTube. Now, I still like streaming on YouTube, don't get me wrong, but I could totally see why he says it's less profitable. It is less profitable. Since I've been here full-time on YouTube, I have not gotten the level of memberships as
this is literally clown world economics from Phil. He told us his money's been going up on YouTube. All the same, whatever. The memberships, even before the Argentina memberships, were still going up. He got gifted memberships. And people still gift him memberships that aren't from Argentina. He still gets money. But we don't see the membership, so we can't, like, point and laugh at the actual number anymore. So for all we know, he could be having a genuine, legit 800 memberships or 900 memberships, which he had on Twitch. But he won't share that number because he has to do math, and I don't trust this guy doing that kind of math that he'd have to do. I'm just gonna be real. If he has to be like, okay, I'm gonna subtract the Argentinian memberships from the total, I think he's gonna do some clown world counting, which I don't want to see from him because it would be more annoying.
Says I had subscribers on Twitch. There's no Prime subs here per se. There's no real
isn't there
incentive or anything.
Didn't like Twitch get rid of Prime subs as well now? I remember there was because it was a big issue with like they were changing how this whole thing works on Twitch now, so that may be true now. You know what I mean?
At all to really do things like there's no cheering wars. There's no cheering wars. Lie. Blatant lie. Go to any of the Stardew streams. You see a super duper dented super chat war all the time. It's actually even worse than the cheer wars he got on Twitch. Because at least the cheer wars, it was like people talking like they had a functional brain. But now you have people like cat, dog, cat, and that's it. That's the super chat war. And he gets that all the time. And now he's saying, I don't get cheering wars. You do, stupid. Cheering trains, you know what I'm saying? All that
cheering
stuff.
Cheering trains means hype train, by the way.
I get it. I understand why it's profitable on YouTube. I'm in the same boat, right? And then guess what he did? He sued Twitch. He did. He outright went and he sued Twitch. Okay? And when he sued Twitch, it was all behind doors. It was never publicly disclosed what the suing was about besides that he had been banned. And guess what? There was a settlement, meaning Twitch would have lost.
Remember this. He said that they had a settlement and Twitch would have lost. How did he know that Twitch would have lost? Settlements can happen for multiple reasons. It's not necessarily even that, like, they would have lost the court case. They either thought that the evidence wasn't enough, or that they were thinking, okay, if we go to court, the evidence is not enough, and then we lose the court case. We may not be able to ban him from the site, and the damage may be even more than what it's worth. So they decided to settle it, so that way they could still ban him from the site, and the potential loss would be minimized to a point. I mean, there's a lot of legal reasons that people could do settlements on, And to say that Twitch did it because they would have lost is a very like black and white thing to say that may not even be true. It's too speculative to even say that, in my opinion.
All right. And Twitch paid Dr. Disrespect a big settlement of money for the fact that they banned him outright without due discourse, without proving that he did anything wrong, right? They basically they did something wrong and ripped him off from a lot of money, and he won the court case.
And then,
okay.
Wait. And then he says he won the court case. Oh my god, this almost slipped my mind too. So remember this whole thing where he says that Twitch settled because they would have lost, and then says, you know, let's get a rewind.
It was all behind doors. It was never publicly disclosed what the suing was about besides that he had been banned. And guess what? There was a settlement, meaning Twitch would have lost, all right? And Twitch paid Dr. Disrespect a big settlement of money for the fact that they banned him outright without due discourse, without proving that he did anything wrong, right? They basically they did something wrong and ripped him off from a lot of money, and he won the court case. Okay?
He won the court case. See, this is the thing about DSP. I think his brain is cooked. As I said many times. I think he forgot a word. Like you know how he complains in Street Fighter that his fight sig drops combos? His brain dropped a word. It dropped the an important word about that segment. Like
without proving that he did anything wrong, right? They basically they did something wrong and ripped him off from a lot of money, and he won the court.
He would have won the court case. He dropped would have because again it didn't go to court, so he didn't win a court case. He got a settlement, correct? But I think in his little mind he thought he said would have and it didn't come out, so he continued as nothing happened. This dude, there's something going on behind the scenes.
In the court case. Okay? Now that's all that's ever been said, because outside of that, all right, it's all legally, like, behind closed doors, NDAs. You can't talk about it. So Dr. Disrespect has never said anything further. Twitch has never said anything further. And so for the greater part of almost 4 years, this entire process has been completely clandestine, shady, behind the scenes. We may never know.
Clandestine. I don't think that's the right word to use. He could have just said it was done behind closed doors and leave it at that. Clandestine, I think, means mostly like something that's destined to happen. Like, come on.
Never know what happened. Okay. Well.
Let's buffer a little bit. We gotta load the words. This is very professional, by the way.
Due to, well, I'll tell you, I want to make sure this is still open. Okay.
Due to, wait a second, he didn't say that. And he has to load it. This dude says, I am not going to go back, but I'm pretty sure at the very beginning he said that he just got breaking news. And now he has to find the breaking news. He couldn't have it prepared? Mr. Professional? Oh, man.
I did not make a mistake. This chicanery?
I'm going to read this.
Okay.
But anyway.
Okay.
Okay, I want to make sure it was still there, and it is indeed still there. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So.
Okay. All right. Okay.
In the last week, crazy stuff has been happening in regards to Dr. Disrespect that I have refused to speak about. Why? Because there's been no evidence of anything. There's been a lot of accusations thrown around. There's been a lot of what ifs, and then there's been seemingly repercussions in regards to the what ifs. Let me explain what's going on. Supposedly a former Twitch employee, and I throw that around loosely because when I say former Twitch employee, Twitch has a million people who work for them who don't. There's people who are like community ambassador volunteers who fucking moderate and do shit, but don't actually work for the company. Don't ask me how they think that's professional, because it's not. That's what leads to insane mistakes like, oh, ban an account because they did something wrong. Oops, they did, and unban it later. And
okay. This guy has legions of volunteers as mods, by the way. Now, he's gonna probably say well, Twitch is a business. It's a big company. I'm just a little guy. But this dude also brags about being professional and all this other. He's the most professional streamer in the world, man. Why can't he pay? Then, if he is the most professional streamer in the world, how come people are gonna be banned for nothing and then be unbanned the same day? There's been so many accidental bans from this guy, and then there's like bans over a guy's name that he doesn't even know, and he's like, I don't know why you're banned. Your name's problematic. I don't know why. And then he bans him again because he spoiled Elden Ring. But it's like, if you're saying that a guy named David Barkley is banned and you don't know why, I don't think that's a very professional stream you got there, buddy. Now, I think someone mentioned that David Barkley, I think, is the name of one of his bankruptcy things. Something his bankruptcy had Barkley in it, and maybe that's why he was banned. And maybe Mod is the only one that gave a fuck enough to know to ban him, and DSP didn't know, and he unbanned him. But it's like,
later in the day, it's bullshit. Their company is awful. Okay, but anyway, someone who supposedly formerly worked for them put out a tweet, and I'll summarize it here. Yeah, the banning of Dr. Disrespect was absolutely warranted. He was texting or DMing a minor, basically someone who was 17, having sexually inappropriate conversation with said minor, and even trying to like lean towards and get them to go to his room and meet him in his room at like TwitchCon. And when Twitch got note of that, because I guess it was done through Twitch private messages and it was reported to them, okay, they said this is completely unacceptable, and that's why they decided to ban him, citing their terms of service would be never allow that. Well,
all right.
Apparently they did ban him. Then he sued them years later, saying, well, none of this is evidence of any crime whatsoever. Therefore, you banned me outright for no reason, legally anyway. And
this is kind of like, I hate how this dude is talking about this. It is funny to me that like Most Critical talked about it, some ordinary gamer talked about it. I didn't watch this video. I watched the latest one from Most Critical, but none of them mention Twitch's side of it, because it's like, yeah, this dude is like sending inappropriate material to like a minor, and it, and him, like, in his response to it isn't like, oh, I was just trying to be funny, oopsie whoopsie, dude. It was more like, oh shit, like, whatever, what happened. But man, him saying something like, well, it wasn't illegal, and this, but it's like, it's terms of service. I mean, you could be banned from any website for terms of service. Like, that's why they exist, Phil.
And you owe me money, and then they had a settlement. So apparently Twitch felt they would not have been able to win the court case. They didn't have enough evidence to prove maybe true intent, and therefore they did screw up, so they settled so they wouldn't lose the court battle. Okay? Now,
okay, whatever.
That's all well and good, except this is just a former Twitch employee saying this on Twitter. No one, where's the evidence? Can you show us evidence of what you're saying? No, nothing. So without evidence, you can't hold someone accountable. It's just an accusation, right? We actually don't know if this is actually what happened or not. Well, all of a sudden,
I will say that when this happened, the biggest red flag I had about it was when Dr. Disrespect responded saying, like, he said something about, like, still getting paid, and I was like, dude, you're being accused of being, like, a fucking creep, and your response is, I'm still getting paid, or whatever the fuck it was? I don't think that, in the hierarchy of things you want to, like, clear the air about, I think getting paid is, like, on the bottom compared to what the accusation is.
Yesterday, it's announced that Dr. Disrespect's game development company, which he co-founded, I think it's called like Midnight Society, is dropping him. He's leaving the company. They're basically, and then they put out a public statement on Twitter. So we heard all these accusations. We researched it ourselves and looked into it, and we came to an agreement that...
You know what's funny? DSP did actually respond about this Dr. Disrespect stuff like a day before this. I just remembered, because someone brought it up and said that, oh, this guy was using it to hype up concerts, man. Wow. And I didn't think much about that. I was like, concerts? what? That's like so bizarre. And the guy who brought it up, was hyping it. Every concert he was like doing, he was like, "Oh, come to the concert. I may reveal what happened," and it never happened. And then this happened, But he did respond to that, and then he immediately said that. And then he immediately said, "This is why I don't cover the drama, man." And he was already ready to write it off. And then, like, Dr. Disrespect responded, and he got DSP to respond. Because this dude, like, just wants to, like, jump on the bandwagon that's gonna get a lot of clicks, obviously. Because when you make a video that's based on just accusations, that is a video that has a higher chance of aging poorly, because if the accusations are bunk and wrong, then you're either gonna have to apologize, which you think he's gonna apologize for anything? Fuck no. He's gonna kill himself before he does that, obviously. But he would never apologize, so that's why he didn't want to talk about it, because if there's a chance that he might be wrong, he's not gonna take it. But since Dr. Disrespect confirmed it, he's comfortable talking about it because he doesn't have to worry. Sound good?
That Dr. Disrespect is leaving the company. Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like they're saying we found out he's guilty of this accusation of, having sexual conversations with a minor, and now we've decided that it's in our best interest to part ways with him. Now, immediately what ended up happening is everyone went at the company saying, well, number one, where's the evidence? If you have evidence, show it. And number two, if you're dropping him, just understand no one is ever going to buy or play your game ever again. Like, the only reason we were even involved in your video game is because Dr. Disrespect was the co-founder of the company, and
I feel like this didn't happen because I remember, like, people were praising the company for acting swiftly about getting rid of Dr. Disrespect. I don't remember hearing people say, "I can't believe you're doing this."
Whatever. We were interested in it. We like him. So you might as well just say goodbye. Your game will never sell. Okay?
But it needs to feel like that would happen.
It was the kiss of death to keep him in the company, and now it's the kiss of death that he's out of the company, right?
This guy. All right. Sorry, I had to check on my laundry, okay? Yeah, I'm doing fucking laundry. Can you believe that? All right. Let's get back into this bullshit.
Now, while all this is going on, guess what else is going on? His other sponsorship deals are falling apart. Apparently, overnight, Turtle Beach, which he has a bunch of...
This shit, this guy, man, he's inventing realities at this point. Like, listen to this.
Will never sell. Okay? So it's kind of like, it was the kiss of death to keep him in the company, and now it's the kiss of death that he's out of the company, right?
How does he know that's the case? What if people are happy that happened? Whatever.
Now, while all this is going on, guess what else is going on?
But guess what? It's a lose-lose anyway, correct? Because imagine if they decided to keep him on. These people would then say, "I can't believe they're keeping this guy on. They just want to keep him on because they can't, because they're gonna suck. They're gonna make bad games, so they're gonna like bake off of his iconic face."
Their sponsorship deals are falling apart. Apparently, overnight, Turtle Beach, which he has a bunch of branded headphones with, dropped him from their sponsorship.
Wow.
So the question is, what in the holy hell is going on? Why is all this happening to Dr. Disrespect if there's no evidence of wrongdoing? It doesn't make sense, right? Like, it would be one thing if there was blatant evidence on the internet of him doing this.
I like that he says that, like, why are they canceling him off, canceling him for, no evidence, blah, blah, blah. But this dude will go on and on about how he was kicked off with no evidence. In a way, this proves that all the shit he says about Teespring and all this stuff is all bullshit. Because think about it. He says all the time, "I got kicked off for bullshit that didn't even happen." And then, like, it happens to other people, and he's like, "So you're telling me these people banned him without evidence?"
There's nothing. No one said anything. Apparently, again, remember, there was a whole court proceeding, but apparently there's NDAs out the ass, okay? So what is going on, right?
All right. We both took a sip of drink.
Now we know. Because right before I started this podcast this morning, Dr. Disrespect tweeted himself. Are you ready?
Whoa, he tweeted himself?
I'm going to read it word for word.
All right.
And this was his original tweet. People are saying he's edited it since. Too bad I have the original tweet on
Too
my screen.
bad.
So I'm going to read the original version right now. This was posted like 15, 20 minutes ago on his Twitter account, at Dr. Disrespect. You ready? The Twitch ban in all capital letters. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement.
By the way,
Let's cut the-
I was kind of watching this recently. His ears will move like crazy doing this. Just look at his ear. Look at it. It will be wiggling up and down the whole time.
fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. Maybe that's a problem. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about.
Now, get a load of this. Get a load of this, right? Correct? Dr. Disrespect is saying, oh, I don't filter myself. I'm an honest man, blah, blah, blah. But these people tell you all the time that this dude is fake, he's lying, he's a shill, he's not his real self, whatever. He says he is. Oh, maybe he should be, maybe that's the problem. Man, let's just think about that one.
And I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. He's always willing to accept responsibility. Okay. Sure. Let's continue.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I'm just going to say this before I read the rest of the tweet. For those who are like shocked at the situation, did you not see the writing on the wall when one, he cheated on his wife many, many years ago?
Okay.
And then he publicly cried about it, so people gave...
Get a load of this, right? Now, cheating on your wife, sure, it's bad and it's fucked up and, you know, all this stuff. You could feel that way all day, you know, sure, fair enough. Correct? Correct. I don't think that correlates with you being a creep to minors. People can cheat on their wife and not be a creep to minors. They're not this, you know, like, that's kind of what this insinuates to me when I was listening to this. I was like, yeah, you know, before I was like, yeah, this guy is kind of shitty because he cheated on his wife. That's kind of like fucked up. And then like he kind of, you know, wanted to like be a victim or whatever. Like it was, I vaguely remember it, but I just remember like he was trying to make a sad story out of it to a degree or whatever. But either way, even then, it was this, he cheated on his wife, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of shitty. That's it. Now he could, you know, change and correct his behavior, sure, because a lot of the times when you cheat on your significant other, there's always like a reason and all this stuff that is a sign that you have to work through something. It's either the relationship you're in now isn't great, or you know, whatever, and that's stuff that you have to figure out and fix, whatever. But again, I wouldn't say, oh, since he cheated, oh, he creeped a minor, that makes sense to me. It's like, no, these are two very different things. One is a potential felony, because one can lead to bad shit that could happen. The other is just shitty behavior to someone else that, you know, that can be fixed either by her breaking up with him, getting a divorce, whatever, or whatever, or getting therapy, whatever. Like, one is a fixable situation. The other, you may go to jail and have some fun time in jail with other people who will do a lot of crazy stuff, right? Correct?
People gave him money and liked him more.
Oh, man.
Figure that one out. 2, he went to a convention and literally walked inside of a bathroom with a film crew and filmed people pissing without their permission.
Now again, with this has the context of like the film crew, and it was like either their idea, his idea, both of their ideas, whatever. And you know, that's just a dumb decision. That's just a dumb stunt that he did get in trouble with, I believe. But whatever, you know. Again, these are just like shitty situations. I think the bathrooms may be more, you know, criminal tier kind of shit, because I don't think it's against the law to do that, in my opinion, or I think it is. Whatever, you know, I'm not gonna tell you I'm a genius, okay? So I'm hitting the mic and everything.
And then he got kicked out of the convention and almost got arrested for it.
Oh yeah, see,
I mean, there's
got in
always been
trouble.
evidence that this guy...
I mean, what do you think a dude... Well, I mean, he did take a camera to a bathroom. But again, like, you know, it's just... when you're doing stuff with minors, it becomes very like head like you're gonna scratch your head a little bit more, and squint your eyes a little bit more at the person than because like you take a camera to a bathroom, it's like, okay, you're a fucking idiot. Why the fuck would you do that? And all this other shit. And then depending on what was recorded, then it would go further from there. Like if you're seeing dicks in his little in his camera, that's gonna be another set of problems. But yeah, it's still kind of like fucked up. I mean, now in the context of shouldn't you already be disgusted with this guy? Sure, I think that's what he's trying to get at. But to another degree, you could also understand why some people may either be willing to forgive him for these things, because both instances end with him saying, I'm gonna improve or whatever. And then, like, this being the tipping point, because, again, this is involving a minor. To a degree, you could say the bathroom is involving other adults in that bathroom. You don't know if there's a kid in there. I don't want to know, because, it's a fucked up situation, obviously. But yeah, like, those two things have, like, stuff around them that's like, okay, maybe he learned, he grew up, and he grew up. He learned and all this other stuff. Then you got this DM, and it's like, that's a little problematic, in my opinion.
Does bad things, but people seem to like him more. And that's what I don't understand. The guy is someone who dresses up like a knockoff G.I. Joe character. He acts a character on camera like a Muppet.
Now this
People
is
like him.
Now this is stupid to like to say, I don't get why people like him. He does bad stuff, they like him more. He dresses like a Muppet. What? Just because someone dresses up doesn't mean they're gonna do crimes and fucked up shit. I mean, that what is this logic?
Like him for that, and that's okay if you like it, but you understand this is all he does. This is his content. You think he's some kind of a fucking hero, a pariah?
Who is saying this? He keeps saying, you think he's a pariah and a hero? Who is saying he's like a hero? I want DSP to find these tweets that say, Dr. Disrespect is my hero. This dude is just saying stuff out of, like, speculation. Come on.
Like, what are you talking about? The guy has had a history of bad behavior, and he makes schlock content. And it's okay.
And you can say the same thing about him. How can you, like, dude?
A fucking hero, a pariah. Like, what are you talking about? The guy has had a history of bad behavior.
DSP had a history of bad behavior.
And he makes
shitty content.
Schlock content. And it's okay to like
It's okay.
The schlock. I get it. It's a shtick.
Why?
It's funny.
What?
But why would you think that this guy is some kind of a fucking hero to people all over the internet?
Who is saying he's a hero? Even before this, I've never seen anyone, for the matter of fact, any streamer for that matter, say they're a hero. Who, like, he's saying this out of the assumption that, like, when people watch, like, a movie or whatever the fuck, and they say, oh, he's my hero, like, that sentiment, and he's conflating that, saying, this is just average fan behavior. They'll say that about everything that they like. Therefore, since Dr. Disrespect has fans, they clearly see him as a hero. Who the fuck says that? Yeah, people may say that, but that doesn't mean that they're either being genuine or legit about it. If I said, Jolene from JoJo's my hero, does that mean that she's literally my hero? Why not, right?
Where did you ever get that information?
Where did you get that information? Where did he
connection? I mean,
where did you get that information?
I'm at a loss, and I understand a lot of people would say, "Well, the same thing about you." I never said I'm a hero. I never said I'm someone who should be worshipped.
Oh my God! Holy shit!
That information or ever
get
that
get a load of this.
Connection.
Get a load of this. Get a load of this.
And I understand a lot of people would say, "Well, the same thing about you." I never.
I am not crazy. What a sick
You
joke.
think about the choice you're making.
You know, that's the... Oh, damn it.
This chicanery?
This dude is unbelievable. When did Dr. Disrespect say he's a hero? I mean, The thing is, I want everyone to get out of this video is that DSP's a fucking idiot. Like, I don't know why. He has the easiest low ball fucking take he could have, and he still fumbles it. It's like, he catches it, he fumbles it once. He grabs the ball again, he fumbles it again. He fumbles all the way down the stairs. And then you're asking, how did he get to the stairs? Well, it's DSP. Like, dude, why are you... Just say, this dude did some fucked up shit to with a minor. He said inappropriate things in a DM. He shouldn't have done it, and, you know, Twitch and everyone else did the right thing by distancing themselves from him because, you know, it might be a DM now, but what if it continued? You know, these are things that people have to be careful about, you know, do with anything online. I mean, again, it's not even like, oh, you can't say what you want online anymore. It's just common sense. If you're sending a message to someone who's a minor, just ask yourself, if you saw a minor down the street, are you gonna say this to their face? No, because they're too young, and you don't know how they're gonna react to it, and it can like just do a lot of stuff. So you have to be kind of like a normal person and just be like, okay, yeah, these are just people, and, you know, whatever. You don't have to like walk the other way or walk away from them or ignore them, but just be like, hey, these are minors. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on, it's just like common sense shit.
I never said I'm a hero. I never said I'm someone who should be worshipped or anyone should
And the
love.
other thing is, the thing that I hate about his little podcasts and his little segments is that, and this is the problem when he does the politics channel, he wants to relate everything to him in order for him to talk about it. That is insane to do for many reasons, because it stifles what you're able to talk about. Because think about it this way. Let's say, we're gonna just rewind the time for this. We're gonna live in like World War II era, right? Correct? And let's say that DSP has a news channel and he wants to talk about the Nazis. Is he gonna relate the Nazis to him to talk about the Nazis? I hope not. I hope not. I hope he's not gonna say, well, you see the Nazis, they do, because, you know, it's like, when I want to do this, I want to make sure it gets done. Like, it's just, you don't want to fucking do that shit. Like, just report the news and just be impartial, or just be like, hey, this is it. If you want to talk about your opinion of it, you can say, hey, Dr. Disrespect is a creep for DMing a minor, inappropriate content. But instead, this guy is just gonna like make it about himself and talk about himself alongside this, which is a very like weird thing to do.
I'm just a regular dude sitting here on the internet playing video games and hanging out with you. That's it. I'm not some fucking multi-millionaire who brings in $50,000 a fucking stream to dress up like a fucking knockoff G.I. Joe. I just don't get it, but maybe that's me because I don't like that kind of shit.
I this whole thing, I'm gonna lost that.
Bro, I never said I'm someone who should be worshipped or anyone.
He's not here. He doesn't say he's this.
Love. I'm just a regular dude sitting here on the internet playing video games and hanging out with you. That's it. I'm not some fucking multi-millionaire who brings.
He's just a regular guy who. But I guess if you're a multi-millionaire, like
$50,000 a fucking stream to dress up like a fucking knockoff G.I. Joe. I just don't get it, but maybe that's me because I don't like that kind of shit. The guy's a fucking Muppet. He always has been. That's his shtick.
Again,
so why?
We're talking about him sending DMs to minors or a minor or whatever. And this dude is using it to talk about the quality of his content. My guy, nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about the quality of his content now. They're just saying this guy is a fucking creep. And that's the discussion. We're not discussing his quality of content. I don't think that's on anyone's mind.
Why do you think that he's like not going to be doing wrong things when there's a history of wrong behavior that he's laid out over the last decade? I don't get it. Okay? So now let's continue to read his own tweet. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society, what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I. And we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I'd never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Okay. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. So essentially what he's saying is, because 2 Twitch employees
Oh my
broke
God.
the NDA themselves.
Why are you okay?
The
we're
NDA
just gonna
is
skip
broken by
this.
them, not him. Okay, here we go.
He just read
Were
what he
there Twitch
whatever.
whisper messages with an individual back in 2017?
By the way, he edited that to change it to minor. By the way, which, you know,
The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. I'm not even going to continue yet. I'm just going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter.
Wait,
Were
what?
there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. I'm not even going to continue yet. I'm just going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the actual intentions are. What actually matters is the initial action, right? If you make a death threat
Oh
to
my
someone,
God,
but you
man,
say, I never
like-
intended to kill them, you're still responsible for the death threat.
I know what he means, and to a point, to a degree, he's right about it. But I think I don't agree with how he said it. Like, it's not that, oh, it doesn't matter, like, that he didn't act on it or not. I just think it's, or whatever. It's just that you sent something inappropriate to a minor that is not like cool or good, you know, or anything. And it's ironic coming from DSV because he DM'd Panda Lee when she was underage, and then he decided to date her when he's 18. And I said this every time when he brings it up, and he's gonna bring it up in this video, I believe, that, well, I only talked to her when she was of legal age. And I'm just like sitting there thinking, you know, if let's say I tell you guys I have a girlfriend, you're probably gonna assume, at least I hope you're gonna assume, that this person is of age. Obviously, I shouldn't have to tell you that she is, because why would anyone assume that otherwise? Correct? And yet DSP has to tell us all the time. Like, it just seems a little weird. I mean, you know, come on. But again, she's like 18, so it's a little bit more like, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Come on.
If you make sexual messages to a minor, even if you never intended to do anything with the minor, you're still responsible for those messages. So the intent doesn't matter. It's the action you already performed. He's already 100% admitted to guilt for a wrongdoing action, and everyone on the internet is now going to accuse him of being a pedophile. I literally don't have to read the rest of the tweet. I don't. I mean, we're done here. But I'm going to read the rest of the tweet because he tweeted a ton of shit here. So I'm going to keep going.
Yeah,
but
keep going.
Yikes, that's
yes.
it. He's done.
Yikes.
Like, you have 100% admitted that you fucked up and did one of the most heinous things possible. I mean, besides, you know, going the next step, which would obviously have been meeting with this person, right? Okay, let's continue. So here's how he now tries to sugarcoat what he did. You ready? These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Yes, there is more. You're doing it with a minor, and therefore there's more to it.
What's more to it? But the thing is like, he's really this, like, surprised that Dr. Disrespect would say this shit, but it's like, yeah, if you're being accused of this stuff and people are saying you're this and that, you're gonna try to downplay what happened, obviously. This isn't like a new tactic. A lot of people do this. Whatever.
But you just don't understand that, I guess. But yes, you screwed up hugely. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed.
His ear.
And I never...
Look at his ear.
You just don't understand that, I guess. But yes, you screwed up hugely. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. And I never even met the individual.
It keeps going.
I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Of course, because it was your case against Twitch. Like, what is he even talking about there? It was his case. clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Of course, because it was your case against Twitch. Like, what is he even talking about there?
He's probably talking about the reason why Twitch banned him, dumbass. Like that, whatever. Okay.
It was his case against Twitch in a civil suit saying you terminated my account and partnership with you, which had all this money coming in, just because you saw some whisper messages, and the whisper messages weren't technically a crime, and therefore, how dare you terminate my ability to make money with your business, which, you know, without actual evidence of any real wrongdoing. I guess what it is Twitch didn't feel like there was enough there to say that they 100% had the right to terminate his account. So they did a civil settlement based on what probably he would have made if he stayed with them. I think it was millions and millions of dollars, wasn't it?
Oh.
So
now that's why they said. I thought they said because they would have lost, Phil. This really comes off as if he didn't know the full story at the beginning, and then when he started reading it, he started to realize, oh, that's probably why they settled. Like it's like something he discovered. Again, a lot of the stuff that DSP does as a segment, it just comes off as like last minute, like he did it the day of.
I don't get it, because again, I don't know the laws. The laws are very weird and different. Who knows what the law would have been with Twitch? Is there a law about a certain amount of how talking with minors and shit? Who knows? I don't get.
Listen to this
again. I don't know the laws. The laws are very weird and different. Who knows what the law?
Who knows what the law is?
With Twitch,
it would have been for Twitch.
Is there a law about a certain amount of?
Is there a law about
talking
certain amount of talking to minors? I don't think it's a law. About talking to minors. I just think it is the character in how people talk to minors that is the problem. You know, there's nothing like if Dr. Disrespect DM'd the minor and just said, what is like the most normal thing a person would say to someone? Oh, I got it. Let's say that the minor DM'd him saying like, hey, can anyone ban me? or it was just like, you know, maybe it was Dr. Disrespect's birthday. He was doing a birthday stream, and then she DM'd him like, "Happy birthday, Dr. Disrespect." Then he responds back saying, "Thank you." Like that's not, you know, bad. But if he says something inappropriate that's more sexual or something you would say to an adult, then yeah, that would be bad. But again, it's not that it's illegal to talk to minors or anything. It's more that how you talk to them and the character and your character. Like, you know, come on now, dog.
Minors and shit. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the law actually is.
This is the kind of shit that a lot of people say, well, I guess you can't do anything you want anymore. And it's like, no, man, you just can't, like, be a shitty person. Stop being an asshole. Like, it's always that kind of shit with some people. Like, you see people who get, like, called out for sexual misconduct, and they always say, well, I guess you can't do what you want anymore. I guess it's illegal to talk to women. And it's like, no, you just don't be shitty. Like, a woman doesn't appreciate how you talk to her. Just stop, cut the shit out. That's it. I can't do what I want now. Wow, I guess I have to walk around on eggshells. And it's like, no, just don't be shitty. Like, that's it. And with this, it's like, you just don't be a creep around minors. You know?
In regards to this, what's legal, what's not, maybe the technicality was technically what he did wasn't illegal. It was very morally reprehensible, but not illegal. And therefore, Twitch
it's basically... not, again, like, I like it's like, oh, it's ambiguous, and maybe it's like, yeah, he literally, it's like not a crime, but it's stuff that makes you scratch your head and like, kind of make you look at it a little closely and be like, okay, we're gonna err on the side of caution and just get rid of this guy.
Banning him for doing something morally reprehensible but not actually against the law was a gray area.
Again, that's why there's terms of service as well. When it's not a crime, you could just say it's against terms of service because you don't want that on your site. Like, again, just because something is against TOS doesn't mean it's illegal. I mean, there's also stuff that's illegal that's against TOS, obviously, but that's also the case for TOS. It doesn't mean it's illegal. But whatever.
And that's why he was able to sue them. Who knows? Okay? But basically, that's what he's saying is, yes, he did these messages. This is why they banned him. He sued them. He didn't win the civil case. They settled, meaning they didn't want to take it to trial. Instead, they just wanted to get it to go away. So they paid him money to get him to go away and leave them alone. There you go. Now let's continue. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I'll fucking own my shit. This was stupid. This is coming from a guy who already had cheated on his wife, publicly admitted it.
Okay, but like, he own that too in a way, but whatever. Like, again, he always wants to he has hung up on this because he has a wife, and he would never do that. But he got her to do it to Superman. But again, Superman was an abusive boyfriend apparently. So you know, it is what it is, I suppose. But this guy, man, he says this because he has a wife, so he's more upset about him cheating on his wife than the DMs with a minor. Now, like, if you want to argue that maybe it's like out of context, it's worse than it is or whatever, that it sure, whatever. But still, like, I would still argue the fact that you made a DM to a minor that other people would say, hey, that's fucking weird. I think that's why you just shouldn't do that kind of shit. Like, you know, like,
Claimed that he was changing for the better.
it's like you can be an asshole and a shitty person, doesn't mean you should. You know
Still doing this. Is there really anything else to say about that? I mean, this guy's not going to change. This is a guy who just has this kind of behavior and thoughts in his blood, and he's doing it over and over. And this is someone who you're basically making a hero of content on the internet. Okay, let's continue.
Hero again.
Now, with all this said,
now
don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm no fucking predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me.
I kind of like how he reads this part because he's doing his like a father reading his son a bedtime story voice. Look at his ear, by the way. It's gonna start wiggling again.
Fucking knows where I stand on those things. With
Dude, and it's like, dude, it's specific wiggles. Like this, like I don't think you can see my cursor, but the top part of the ear wiggles. Then like the middle part starts to wiggle too, independently. This dude has a very weird ear.
with those types of people. Fuck that.
Those type of
That's
people.
a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about.
Even
Don't be
hearing
labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Well, my comment on that is simple. He probably had no idea that the person who he was sexting via Twitch DMs was underage.
So he says this, but he says earlier in this that it was a minor. But then now he says, "Well, he didn't know." But then someone tells him he edited in the minor part, so he knew he was talking to a minor, which is like, you know, like, come on.
That's why you don't sext with people on Twitch, you fucking buffoon. You stupid moron. You're a multimillionaire. You're one of the most beloved content creators on the internet. You're married with a kid, and you're sexting people you don't know on Twitch. I think that speaks to the level of intelligence here.
Okay.
Let's continue. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it.
I mean, again, he knew she was a minor, or he. I don't know if they ever said who was the recipient of Dr. Disrespect's nonsense, but he knew it was a minor, and he still continued. You know what I mean?
That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. To my team, community, industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I could have said all this sooner. You guys have always showed me and my family love and support throughout all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. I have the fucking best community and circle. If any of this has made you uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but just know you have always been greatly appreciated. But trust me when I say this, to all of my haters and that live and breathe social media with zero real life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. Finally,
It sounds like
if you're
DSP.
uncomfortable with this entire statement and think
I
I'm
don't give a
piece of
fuck
shit, that's
about
fine.
you.
But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all
Eat
those
shit
years
out
ago.
of my ass.
But you're the same guy who cheated on your wife publicly. Admit shit,
Oh,
that's fine.
wait, what?
But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. But you're the same guy who cheated on your wife, publicly admitted to it, said you were changing, but then you did this anyway. Okay, well, pattern, right?
Again, see, this is why I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Just because he cheated on his wife, like, again, let's say that this never happened. Let's say that he was never banned from Twitch, and let's say that he never sexted a minor or did anything with minors for that matter. Let's just assume none of that happened. Would you just assume that a dude who had an affair or who cheated on their wife would be sexting a minor? Like, really now? DSP, come on. This is like an unfair like characterization almost. But again, fortunately for Phil, Dr. Disrespect did sex some minors, so he's able to say this and get away with it. But that's the thing that I'm like annoyed with about this, is that his hang up on Dr. Disrespect is mostly the affair or the cheating. Now again, it's shitty he cheated on his wife. Sure, you know, that's not like cool or great, but you know, that's something that could either be resolved either by getting a divorce or you know, going through therapy or whatever the fuck that may take to get that repaired. But this is like he went actively to sex a minor. That is far worse than the affair or the cheating. The cheating can be like, you know, it's like, hey, you're a shitty guy and you treat your wife like shit. Like, come on, man. And then the other is like, okay, you're DMing minors now, like fucking sexual shit. Like, dude, come on now, dog. Fucking get off the internet. Like, it's just two different like degrees of things that are going on. And he's like, well, since he cheated, this was the next step. Like, okay.
Right? It's one thing if it's like the first time it's happened, then you give the benefit of the doubt. But now you've established a pattern of the same kind of misbehavior. So now people actually know who you really are. And that's the problem here. It would be one thing if it was a first time offense, but now you got the label for the behavior that you keep making.
And he also like gets mad at people who are just now done with Dr. Disrespect, even though he just said that this establishes a pattern. So maybe that's why they dropped him, Phil. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. But no, he gets like, you know, this is more maddening. Like, you know, I thought, okay, this is just gonna be like just DSP saying dumb shit, but it's like he in this segment that should have just been about Dr. Disrespect. He shits on everyone. He shits on Twitch. He shits on Dr. Disrespect. He shits on people who used to like him or whatever the fuck. And it's like, my God, dude, maybe you shouldn't be talking about this if this is how you're gonna discuss the news.
I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right. I hate to tell you, Dr. Disrespect, you're not going to be coming back with a heavy weight off of your shoulders. You're going to be coming back to a situation where essentially all of your sponsors are now going to drop you because you have absolutely 100% outright admitted to sexting a minor. Okay? You're going to come back to a very polarized community.
Now, you know what's funny? This dude always brags how he doesn't get sponsorships and all this stuff, and he wants other people to not get sponsorships. So, you know, Dr. Disrespect is not getting sponsorships, Phil. Like, and you know, the other thing is, he says that people should get repercussions for their actions and consequences for their actions and all this other stuff. And him losing sponsorships and all this stuff, that's the consequence. So, like, So what more do you want him to go through then, Phil? Like, oh man, I just wish he just doesn't talk about this stuff because he's just not equipped. He's not equipped for it. If you're not confident in your stance on something, just don't say anything. But this dude will always say something, and then he'll say the next day, "I stay in my lane and I don't talk about other people's drama." But he does it for this because Dr. Disrespect is bigger than him, and he can just be lost in the shuffle of videos talking about him.
All right, you are. Not everyone is going to be backing you anymore because of what you just admitted. Okay, and you're going to come back to a situation where you're going to have a core community who are these hardcore people who, no matter what, are going to like you and support you. But it is not going to be the land of rainbows, unicorns, leprechauns.
But dude, it's the internet. There's always new people joining the internet every day, and these people may not even care about the allegations or the scandal or whatever the fuck. I mean, that's the sad truth. People will just not care. You know, give it some time. Like, that's just how it is.
Milk and honey that you have had up to now. You have now outright admitted to doing something so bad that even if you intended it or not, it's a pattern of bad behavior. People don't want to be associated with that at a professional level, period. You'll still have your supporters coming to watch your streams and crowdfund you. But those days of getting all of that money from the sponsorships and shit are done. No company is going to want us to associate with someone who made inappropriate whisper DMs with a minor on Twitch. Period. And you admitted it.
Air quotes.
So here's the thing about Dr. Disrespect,
Whatever.
okay?
Here's the thing.
He's a shtick. And we
He's
all
a
know this.
shtick?
The Dr. Disrespect you see on a stream is a character. He dresses up like a cartoon character and dances around yelling and screaming like a Muppet. And this is what people like about him, and this is why he gets
I haven't watched his streams. I don't know what he does, but DSP is telling me what he does on stream. Apparently, he just dances around and screams. I hate how this guy talks about other people's streams. Just outside of Dr. Disrespect, everyone. It is so annoying because if you do that for him, he's like, dude, it does happen to him. Oh, see, people come to my stream and they see that I'm not like what my trolls say. But DSP tells us every day these other streamers act as Muppets and all this stuff. If I go to their streams, are they gonna do that? Like, this dude, shut up.
Gets money. Right? It's a character they enjoy. It's very similar to the early days of PewDiePie and Markiplier, where all they would do is scream like sissies on camera during horror games, and it got them a huge following, right? The problem is,
huge following,
Dr.
right?
Disrespect has pigeonholed himself into that content. Here's what I mean.
Do you
really believe that if right now Dr. Disrespect took all the clothes off and said, "I'm Guy," that's his real name, right? Guy.
Right?
Hi, I'm Guy, and I'm just gonna be my normal self here today. Let's play games. Unless he's the character, no one's gonna care, and that's the problem.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything? Now he's like concerned trolling about, well, now if he tries to do something else, he can't because he has to be committed to Dr. Disrespect. But dude, when did he say he doesn't want to be Dr. Disrespect anymore? He just said he's gonna come back to streams later. That's nothing to, like, this is a made-up problem. That's not even the case. And then this isn't, well, what if he doesn't want to do his stuck, man? This is irrelevant. This is irrelevant to the fucking point. This is not even part of the discussion. This is the kind of tactic people do to try to distract you from the actual argument you're having. You could be arguing with someone about, like, why Yukari is the best character in Persona 3, and someone will say, well, you know, so, like, Yukiko in Persona 4, she has a cooler sweater. It's like, dude, we're not even talking about Persona 4. And, like, it's just so disjointed and, like, not even relevant. We're talking about him, like, sending a creepy DM to a minor, and how he lost the trust of his viewers, potentially, and he, you know, if he comes back, he may not have anyone there to watch him anymore. That's it. Okay, you made your point. Why are we talking about, what if he doesn't want to be Dr. Disrespect anymore? When did he say that?
Take a look at others who this has happened to. Okay? And they tried to change, and people wouldn't allow them to. The angry video game nerd, the nostalgia.
The angry video game nerd. I hate when he talks about this guy because it is the most negative, like the most negative thing that I've heard about AVGN is that potentially his scripts are all plagiarized or whatever. But that's mostly the fault of the writers. Now, the reason why why James Rolfe doesn't really have a stronger hand in making AVGN is because guess what? He has a family. Wow. So clearly he just doesn't like want that to interrupt his family life, and he just wants to make videos and just put them out there, and he wants to be more efficient. So of course it's gonna mean hiring writers, and all of this, and just taking a less of a lead on the videos. Now I think he does also work on some episodes here and there. It's more like, you know, whatever. But again, he has a family life. He has a personal life that he's taking care of, that he wants to spend time with. It has nothing to do with that he wants to stop being the nerd. He has done other videos on top of that, and I don't think it affects him because he doesn't really seem to care. He does his own thing. Everyone else, I'm starting to kind of notice something about James Rolfe specifically, that a lot of people seem to really, really care a little too much about James Rolfe. Like not like that they're obsessed stalker kind of shit, but they talk as if like they understand what goes on, and how he thinks, when it's just like he has a family and there you go. Like, you know, he's been pretty honest about that too, because he talked about it, I think, in one of the behind the scenes videos for the movie he was doing. But again, these are all things that are like whatever. And he's like, well, you tried to do this and they wouldn't let him. Like, I don't think James Rolfe was that depressed in his life, man. He has other stuff going on.
Nostalgia critic. These are people who didn't want to continue with those.
The nostalgia critic just sucks. I'm sorry. He just sucks. He just doesn't have the talent to do anything. And if you try to leave doing a character and your talent is not there to back it up, yeah, you're gonna go back to what was giving you the money. And even then, that blew up in his face in a way as well. I you know, whatever.
Those characters, but those characters are the only things people like them for, so they're stuck. Angry Joe outright has admitted, I don't want to do the ginormous reviews anymore. They're too time consuming, they take too much work, they get demonetized on YouTube, but that's all anyone watches, so he has to keep doing it. And that's what's happened with Dr. Disrespect, okay? Essentially,
I'm gonna also just say, I feel the Angry Joe stuff is outdated at this point. I don't know what he does anymore. I don't watch him. I only see some tweets about him, and the tweets I see are always are just political takes and stuff like that. I don't see anything else, and I don't care. But I'm just gonna go on a gut feeling saying that I don't think he feels the same way anymore.
You made yourself a character. You literally have to dress up as that character forever because it's the only thing people want you for. You didn't present yourself that this is really me. You made a silly character up, and now people want that.
Where
is
this coming from?
Dr. Disrespect was going to have longevity being a character?
Where is this coming from? Again, all the dude fucking said was, he's taking a hiatus or whatever the fuck to wait for this thing to blow over. And this dude is talking as if he was discussing ending his career as Dr. Disrespect. When did he say this? Again, you're bringing stuff up that's not relevant to the discussion. Like, why are we talking about this? Dude just wants to talk about it because he just hates the idea that people may play a character on stream. But this dude will always tell you he was playing a character on stream, but since he has a negative connotation to it, or a negative association to it, he has to talk about it. This dude is so petty. He only is talking about this because he dislikes these kind of streamers. It's nothing real. This dude couldn't give a fuck about what actually was happening. Because if he really cared, right, why continue? He admitted it. Dr. Disrespect literally admitted to DMing a minor inappropriate content and inappropriate discussions with a minor, and instead of just ending it at that, saying that's fucked up and that should not be allowed or whatever the fuck, whatever, you can have any take about it, saying, hey, this is inappropriate, you should not be having this with a minor. That's all he could say. He could just say that and that'd be enough. But since he doesn't give a fuck about that genuinely, he has to go on and on and on about the other aspects of this guy that no one's talking about. Who the fuck is talking about his streamer character? Nobody!
10, 20 years, but after a while, the shtick gets old and new characters step up to take over, right? It's not
That's any
because
streamer. That's any profession. Anything in the world. You make movies, right? You're a director. Another director's gonna come out of the woodwork and get the spotlight. That just happens. Shit happens. But this is not relevant. Why are we discussing this?
Because it's the same old routine over fucking and over. And that's the problem is, I feel like what his plan was to make maximum profits in a very small amount of time. Like, let me do this for 10 years.
Now we're talking. Now, oh my god. This is projection. Because you want to know what? This dude was going to do this. Remember the 10-year plan? Remember the 10-year plan? His 10-year plan was to phase out of streaming and get a real job, which I don't think was going to happen anyway. But now I think the 10-year plan has morphed into, I'm just going to game for a bit, then I'm going to stream less, and then I'm going to do political content here and there, and and all this other stuff. The stuff that he's saying Dr. Disrespect is doing, that's the stuff he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get as much money, and you know what? That's what's going on even now with his content. That's why he wants $50 a stream and all that stuff. He wants to get as much money out of his audience up until the meme retirement age, and then stop and just kind of do it a little less seriously. Because that's what he's doing. But he's saying, oh, this is what Dr. Disrespect's doing. Like, how do you know what he's planning? Like, this is so fucking dumb, man.
Bank as much money as I possibly can, so then I can live the rest of my life not having to worry, right? But now,
and also, like, whatever, whatever.
Coming out, he's about to lose all those big money opportunities that he essentially needed to make to do that, right? All of the product placements, all of the fucking, the headphones, the peripheral accessories and shit. It's all about to go away. And because of that, I now predict what's going to end up happening is he's going to have to keep streaming as Dr. Disrespect for a very long time to maintain the lifestyle he has for himself.
What if he wants to? Again, you don't know what this dude's thinking. Because if you did, you would have known, correct? That he sent the minors. If he knew this much about what he was thinking, then he should have known about the DMs at this point. If he's so prophetic and I know what he's thinking. Wait, hold up. Ah, yes, I'm back to hell. Let's get back into hell, guys. Here we go.
Either that, or he's going to have to accept, I now, because of my fuck-ups and publicly admitting to them, I'm now going to have to completely downscale my life. Sell off anything expensive that I have, any big ritzy house I have, and essentially cut it all out and just say, I just got to live on, you know what I'm saying? On like a minimum.
You know what I'm saying? Minimum.
That's what he's going to have to do. Because here's the thing, because, right, for example, Maximum Turbo in chat says, doesn't matter, he's already rich, he could stop working right now. You're right, except I guarantee you his lifestyle is set in a way of his expectations.
You know what?
Keep making big bucks.
Well, listen to this, dude, man. Because how many times has he told us, "Oh, these people, they can go away whenever they want. They already made their big bucks." And now he's saying, well, he needs to keep making money to pay for these things. Wow, it's like this dude is a child.
You see? You have to understand something. When you own a big house, you have to pay property taxes on that big house, right?
Right.
When you own luxury vehicles, you have to maintain all of that. That's what people don't think about, right? So I guarantee you, right now, he is sweating fucking bullets. He says he's going on a vacation. Why are you going on a vacation right now unless you realize what's going on is ruining your career, right? There's a serious problem here.
He should keep streaming, and that way he'll be, like, miserable, right? Correct? Whatever. Like, come on.
So, yeah. I guarantee you what's going to end up happening is there's going to be big changes, but I almost feel like he's going to have to.
But you know what? You just know if something similar happened to Phil, he just wouldn't, like, stream. Like, in a way, that kind of happened. But Twitch helped him because he banned his account so he couldn't stream. Correct? Whatever.
Essentially, change from what his plan was.
That's not
all right?
necessarily true.
That's
either.
my take on it.
I swear
Now
there was
listen,
something
here's
else
the
that
thing.
happened, but whatever. Here's the thing.
You like Dr. Disrespect for his content, right? You like the character he portrays. I'm going to say something outright that a lot of you probably would not expect me to say. Keep watching his content.
This dude, just before this, said, this guy's gonna have, like, supporters and all that stuff. Like, they're not gonna care. They're not gonna fucking care about this stuff. Or whatever. Like, he kind of, like, shat on them. And now he's saying if you like him, support him. Which I don't think is a good take to have. Like, if at most, if people are a little bit like, well, these are just DMs and, you know, whatever, and you only care about if it went further than that, you know, that's one thing, and you could have that opinion. It is what it is. But I do think that, you know, look, I think it's just inappropriate what he did, and I think that he, you know, should be called out for that, because I don't think anyone should be sending inappropriate matters to a minor that they shouldn't, like, have to sit through. You know, like,
Keep supporting his content. Because the stuff he's doing behind the scenes has nothing to do with his content. Do you understand that?
but
Like, the guy...
it has nothing to do with that. Okay, but the minor was presumably, I'd assume, was a fan of Dr. Disrespect. Now, again, if none of this happened and no one caught this and it kept going on, who knows where it would have landed? And the fact that he did this to an assumed fan, who's to say he wouldn't do this to other fans? And then you start seeing the problem.
Yeah, is morally reprehensible for these actions that he has publicly admitted to, but his content is something different from that. You understand? It is. It's very different. It's a character he portrays. It's something that he worked on to make entertaining. I'm sure he puts a lot of work and hard work into it, right? I don't see why you wouldn't still watch and enjoy his content. Again, there's situations where what you have to do is you have to separate.
The separate art from the artist is like, it's a case-by-case basis, in my opinion. Like, some people can do it, some people don't, but I don't think that it's a go-to. Like, you know, the Kevin Spacey shit, I don't really, like, when it comes to older movies, it's like, okay, you know, maybe I could watch, like, Usual Suspects and not really, like, feel whatever, but I just don't want to, I just, you know, don't want to see this guy again. And you know, all this stuff is just very fucked up. And I think how he acted after the allegations did not make him look any better to me. Even if he wasn't, let's say he was even innocent, I still would not like this guy. The way he acted was just fucking shitty. Like, how many Christmas videos do we need of him pretending to be fucking Frank from House of Cards? Then there's Woody Allen, which is even more fucked up, because he married his stepdaughter. That is really fucking. I did not know that. Years ago, I did not know this, and when I found that out, I was like, I fuck this guy. That's just really fucking weird, and I don't care for this guy anymore. So. But that's just what happens. I mean, and some people may be able to look past that, I guess. But it's like, you know,
separate the art from the artist. And if you like the art, just because the artist has done morally reprehensible things, why would you not still like his content, right?
You know, since we're talking about the art and the artist kind of shit, right? Type in comments if you guys are watching the new Rurouni Kenshin, because I know that fucking guy had some fucked up shit on his hard drives. Because that is the one thing I saw. Everyone was like, yeah, Rurouni Kenshin's good, just don't look up the author. And I was like, oh. And after that, I was just scared to even give it. Like, I remember watching it as a kid, like, growing up, on Toonami, and now it's like, I am just scared to even bother again to rewatching it. But then I hear there's a new one, so it's like, you know. But yeah, guys, hype for that or nah. You don't need to go into the specifics. Just hype or not hype for Rurouni Kenshin. Whoa.
But then again, maybe not, because some people can't seem to make that separation, right? So at least these definitely these companies are not. These companies who he has
Yeah, because like
professional.
the thing is like the way he acted was unprofessional. So these professional companies don't want to deal with someone that's unprofessionally DMing minors. Or whatever.
Agreements with and stuff,
And stuff.
right?
Right?
Absolutely not. They're never. They don't want to be associated with something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because people will say stuff like, "Now listen to this." Someone just
Listen
said
to this.
the same thing with Chris Benoit. Well, Chris Benoit was
I always like when he says, "Listen to this." Like he's ready to shit on the dude. But this goes into weird places. But I just want everyone to remember, this dude rage quit on a Cammy player who had the name Chris Benoit, and refused to play him because of the name alone. Supposedly, I guess. And I just want everyone to just remember what he just says, and even back when he was playing the Harry Potter game, separate the art from the artist, and all this other shit. But then when Chris Benoit shows up on Street Fighter 6, change his name. How can he have a name like that? Oh my god, this guy's a piece of shit. Celebrating Chris Benoit. What if he's talking about the wrestling moves he did, not the what he did in IRL?
was an amazing professional wrestler. He had an amazing body of work, but it was tainted by the fact that he became a murderer when he snapped and killed his whole family. The work is still there. You can't forget it, but it sucks that he lost his fucking mind and did an insanely reprehensible, heinous action. You know, again, if you here's the question is, at what point do you draw the line? And at what point does the personal and professional meld together, right? It's a good question.
Is it?
You know,
You
the
know?
bullshit that happens in life, at what point do you say, well, I draw the line and I absolutely can no longer support it? I mean, people have done this with filmmakers, right? Over the years, things that they felt were reprehensible. Who was it? Was it Woody Allen? I quote, definitely correct me if I'm wrong.
Man.
Wasn't it Woody Allen?
This
Absolutely
Woody Allen thing
was like a very well respected director, but then I guess he like started dating.
I will say,
believe, like,
you know, it's. I was thinking about this too when I looked up the Woody Allen situation with his stepdaughter. I kind of was looking back at some of his older movies, and I was thinking about it. And I was like, you know, every movie, this guy always has always has a romantic interest with a very young actress in any movie, and I guess in real life too now. And it's like, man, this dude is fucking like weird as fuck. And I started to kind of, even as a person, like I just got tired of listening to his like fucking dialogue. I kind of hated almost everything about this guy. Like he kind of devalued the more time went on. And it's like, you know, that might be the first time I've experienced a thing where once I learned something fucked up about him, everything else starts to like lose interest, because you start to see like a lot of like weird choices.
Like the daughter of
The daughter
someone
of
who was like
the daughter
underage,
of.
but then
I
she
mean,
became
you know, it's funny. It's a double whammy, because these people like really talked about Dr. Disrespect having an affair, right? Or cheating, but he seems to be very clueless that Woody Allen cheated on his wife with his stepdaughter. Like, think about that. He gets married with Mia Farrow, and then they adopt a kid, and he gets into a relationship with the stepdaughter. Well, no, they didn't. I fucked it up. He was a stepdaughter. That part was true. But regardless, you know what I mean. Like he fucking married Mia Farrow, then cheated on her with the stepdaughter. Like, that's kind of fucked up and really fucking creepy. It's so fucking awful and shitty. And I think there's also other shit that went on too. That is also not very cool.
Came of age.
To put it
I can't
lightly.
remember. I used to know this story, but it was something like that, right?
Right?
But people still watched Woody Allen movies. Oh, was it Roman Polanski? Is that who it was?
Well, Roman
I get it
Polanski has other
confused.
fucked
I
up
always
shit.
get story confused. Was it Roman Polanski?
I don't know much about Roman Polanski because I don't think I've seen any of his movies, and that might have been before my time, I guess. Whatever. But even then, like after I just cursory like kind of knew what was going on with Roman Polanski. I was like, oh man, this no thanks, and that was it. Didn't want to look up anymore. I was like, especially when Woody Allen and Roman Polanski share a sentence, pretty much. It's like I'm out. No thanks.
There was someone who like they got involved with an underage person. The person became of age, and I think eventually they married them when they were of age. But it was always like a taint on their record. Yet they continued to make movies that people kept
It's a little
watching,
hard, you know. Honestly,
right?
like it's a little harder for Woody Allen to even make movies now because I think he made a movie and it's not coming out anywhere. Because I remember he also had he made a deal with Amazon, and then this whole thing with his daughter happened, and well, stepdaughter, whatever happened, and then that kind of made it harder for his movies to be distributed. I think I don't know if France banned him. But anyways, you can't really find Woody Allen's new movies anymore. Not like it matters. His movies are all shitty anyway. It's always like someone complaining. And they always and he makes all the actors talk like him, and it's like I don't like shut up.
Right? Polanski and Woody are both creeps. It doesn't matter. Wow. See, I don't know the full story. But anyway, the point I'm making here is there's many people out there who essentially don't really have a very good personal lives, but they've made artistic work that people really like, and then they still get credit for it. It's not like they're completely blacklisted and forgotten and erased from the community. Right? Here's another one. Michael Jackson.
Whatever. Okay.
Was essentially known as the king of pop, one of the biggest pop musicians of all time. And then when the accusations started hitting that he might have had relations or was trying to have relations with children. Right? All of a sudden
I'm not sure
everyone hates him.
They say he tried. I think these whatever.
And it's a fucked up situation, is it not? You know?
Again, why is it fucked up? This dude goes on and on about people should have consequences for their actions and this and that. And these are presumably consequences for their actions. And he's like, it's really fucked up, huh? It's so fucking weird. This dude is weird. One day he says that people should be held accountable. He then says the next day, these people were held accountable. That's kind of weird. Okay.
So I guess the question is, where you draw the line? What do you do? Like, what will really happen in regards to Dr. Disrespect? He's going on vacation, which is absolutely hilarious.
I mean, to a degree, this may be a somewhat different situation in the sense that he's doing it on his own and he's streaming on his own and all this stuff. So, you know, people can have this, can be like, okay, you know, whatever about it, you know, like
that. If anything,
whatever.
That's the worst thing he could possibly do right now. If he really felt strongly about the fact that he did nothing wrong at all, it should be business as usual.
But again, if he read the fucking tweet, he would have realized that he's not saying that he did nothing wrong. He just said that he didn't actually sleep with the minor or whatever. Like that's all he said was, I did DM him, but I didn't do more than that, guys. Don't worry. That's all that happened. That's all that was said. So yeah, that's why he's taking a hiatus, dumbass, because he's trying to like it's gonna sound cynical or whatever, but he's trying to look like he actually cares what's going on, so he's taking time off to let it cool off and all this other shit, and then he can come back because he doesn't want to look like he's now reflecting on what just happened. Like, that's just the nature of it. But this dude is saying, well, if you thought that you did nothing wrong, he didn't say that. He just said that he didn't do anything illegal or whatever, but he did do this, and he did see that is bad on his part, which is why he's taking the hiatus. Like, again, if he read this, he would have known. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it's a great response to it, because he literally just kind of said, like, I feel like when that allegation dropped last week, it kind of hit, and then like over time, people was about to leave. Like people were just kind of like, okay, it is what it is. And then Dr. Disrespect made the comment, and then everyone's like, wait a second. They all started to look at him again. Like,
it shouldn't be, oh, I've decided I'm no longer going to work right now.
just,
I'm going on a vacation.
It is still kind of shitty anyway. It's still a shitty response because he just kind of wants to shit on people too while he was doing it. He was like, oh, I did do this, but you know what? I'm not like these other people. But it's like, yeah, but this is how it always starts. Like, come on, man. Come on now, dog. Like, you should have just known it was inappropriate. You shouldn't have done it. But no, of course not.
100% that tells you this is the end. This is a huge changing point. Or else, if he didn't believe that, he would still be on fucking stream right now doing his thing, saying, fuck this bullshit and the haters and nonsense. I'm going to be here. I told you I'm innocent, right? So, yeah, for me,
I really don't know what DSP thinks happened.
That I do feel this is the end of his career as he knows it. I do think he'll still be successful. Being honest, I think he's still going to have
He'll be successful at the end of his... Okay.
I think he's still going to have people who support him. It's just not going to have any professional backing whatsoever. He's not going to have any companies who are going to want to sponsor him whatsoever. And it's going to be solely based on crowdfunding moving forward.
Well, eventually these companies will come back to him. I mean, whatever.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. But, man, to finally get the situation out, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am absolutely shocked he just admitted to it on Twitter. 100% shocked that he admitted that on Twitter. I mean, that's something else.
That's something else.
To me, that he actually outright came out and said that he did that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know?
Someone said he edited the tweet, and I'm trying to look at it again now.
We're gonna like fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, I don't. Hold on. Individual minor back in 2017. The answer is yes.
Now, like he reads that and says nothing about it. Doesn't realize what he just read. Like because before he said, "Well, I didn't even know the person was a minor," and then just read that he knew it was a minor, and he had no reaction to it. This dude has such weird reading comprehension and reactions. It's like bizarre.
He added one word, minor, to the post.
Yeah. Okay. Huh. All right. Yeah.
So he edited the word minor out. That's the version I read. Then he edited it back in.
Okay. So what does that tell you, Phil?
By the way, a lot of people in chat are being completely stupid. They're saying, I'm defending Dr. Disrespect, and I am defending a groomer and a child predator. I'm not doing that whatsoever. Did I not say at the very beginning of this podcast, this guy has a history of absolutely heinous behavior, correct?
But see, this is the problem with his little segments like this. It goes clarification of non-defense. That's a great summary of it. Wow, the AI just bodies DSP a lot for some reason. It says a lot when the AI just fucking bodies you this badly. Like, man, that's rough, buddy. But that's the problem with him. He goes on this big ass tangent about Dr. Disrespect to the point where like you're going all over the place, and then it's like you're mad that people are accusing you of being a defender of Dr. Disrespect. I just think maybe you should have been more concise. Like that's a problem with every pre-stream, every piece of dialogue he has. It's never concise. It's always like filled with filler words and nonsense, where you'll start being like, wait, huh? What do you think? Like, this dude literally starts off by shitting on Twitch for banning Dr. Disrespect, and then says, well, he did this other thing, but we don't know what it is, but he's just dumb. But it's like, okay. But then he's like, well, he's still gonna make money and he'll be fine. Like, and if you want to support him, continue to support him. And then he's like, yeah, I'm not defending it, man. I'm not telling you to support a pedo. Come on, man. But it's like, dude, you literally just told people if you want to keep supporting them because it doesn't matter what they do behind the scenes. But this dude could potentially commit a crime, and you're telling him to support a person that could potentially commit a crime, which is another thing DSP would say is stupid and people should not be supporting criminals. But again, this guy just talks in circles to the point where you just kind of lose the point, and you just kind of wish all he said was, DMing minors sexual shit bad. That's all he needed to say.
Never going to change because he now has a pattern of heinous behavior. He doesn't learn from his mistakes. He repeats the mistakes. In fact, I'd argue the mistakes are getting even worse now. Correct? I've told you over the years, this guy fucking doesn't deserve the popularity he has. He literally acts as a character in a Muppet. There's no reason whatsoever for him to have any kind of popularity outside of being a cartoon character. And I don't know why people hold him in a level of respect that they do at all. I just don't understand it. I'm at a loss. The first moment, if you really have issue with this right now, because this is coming out now, why did you not have issue when it was absolutely proven he cheated on his wife and he publicly admitted it?
Again, see, that's his hang up is the cheating. But that is something that is more like between him and his wife and stuff like that, which can easily be repaired or fixed or whatever in many different ways. This has a potential of being a crime. Because again, like, you want to be involved with a minor. He sent a inappropriate DM. Now, surface level, yeah, it's just a DM, but it's always what it comes after. Like, what's going to happen after that DM that people are having issue with. And it's that behavior that people are like, what are you going to do? Once you have this interaction with a minor, like, where's it going to go? And it's inappropriate a lot. Like, you shouldn't be having inappropriate conversations with minors. Like, no one should do that. And it's like, that's why, there was a time on Twitter where I was really confused. I'm not really confused. That's a little exaggeration. But there'd be accounts that would just say, no minors, and they would just block if they see someone that they perceive as a minor or whatever. And I didn't think much of it. But then I realized, well, it's because this guy posts a lot of stuff that may be inappropriate for minors, and you just don't want minors to see that. So they're just saying, hey, don't follow. Which, on one hand, it's like, okay, I mean, it's Twitter, like, it's pretty much an honor code at that point to say that. But I understand, at least they're like being straight, saying, hey, look, I'm making tweets only for adults or whatever. And that also may be why people protect adult accounts as well, whatever, that kind of shit. But again, this dude DM'd a minor. Like, that's a problem, and it's a little like head scratching. And this dude is like, you have a problem with that? What about when he cheated on his wife? But that's like, you can disagree with that, and it's shitty, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna automatically assume that person is gonna start DMing minors. Like, that's a leap. If I did not know this happened, and I only knew that Dr. Disrespect cheated, I wouldn't assume this happened. I would have to be told this happened for me to be like, oh, it happened.
And why was that not it for you? Why was that not the tipping point? Why is this the tipping point? That should have been the tipping point back then, right? When he's walking, and he's in a convention where he's a guest, and he walks into the bathroom with a full film crew.
But again, he says this, but when people were trying to explain to him why people don't like J.K. Rowling and all this other stuff, he just said, no, man, support the art, not the artist, and all this other nonsense. Okay, cool.
And he's filming people pissing without their permission, violating their personal privacy, right? And then afterward, he blames the crew, saying it was their idea, right? At what point do you say,
but you know what? But you know what's funny? You know what's funny though about that? That's something DSD would do. He would definitely do that. If he was called out for something, he would blame everyone but him. That is a DSP tactic. I mean, he would have a better point if he just focused on the bathroom thing than the cheating thing, because the cheating thing, again, as I said, it's more between two adults, and that's like its own thing that you can disagree with and all that. The bathroom thing is a little more problematic because it's a public space, and Again, you don't know. I don't know what was filmed. I don't want to know what was filmed. But it was. I do think it was fucked up that he did it or whatever. And then sure you can kind of like hopscotch your way to this, but it's like, come on. I'm not gonna sit there and assume everyone that cheats on their wife or their husband is gonna immediately text a minor. Like that is a massive leap.
Maybe this guy's kind of a creep, and we should probably not like him anymore and pay him $50,000 a stream to act like a fucking weirdo, right? At what point does this happen? But these fucking people, no, we're going to keep going, right? Just keep going. Until he finally murders someone, we'll still like him. Okay. I mean, whatever you say.
I like that he says this, but this is what trolls have been saying about DSP, that he's doing all the stuff that I don't think, people should be watching DSP for, or whatever the fuck. But it always comes down to, well, I'm not doing any crimes. I'm not, like, killing people. But like, again, you could say the same, like, defense about anyone. Like, come on, man. Come on now, dog.
It doesn't make any fucking sense, right?
The chicanery.
I don't understand this at all, right? So, for me, that's my take, is I don't understand why the moment that he started doing wrong things, people supported him to begin with, and he publicly admits to all of them. It's all.
Wait, what if they separate the art from the artist?
All proven that it's all true, and he just keeps fucking up over and over. Oh, no, keep tossing this dude money. He's amazing. He's a hero. We really stand for Dr. Disrespect.
Look at this, again. See how fucking much whiplash you're getting? He went from, well, support him, man. Separate the art from the artist. Okay, I'm gonna do that, Phil. Oh, I don't know why you're giving him money. He's doing fucked up shit. Wait, what? You just said it's okay, but now it's fucked up? Which is it? It's both, depending on who's listening.
For it now? He literally admitted publicly. You know what I'm saying? He literally admitted publicly to all of this. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't even know what else to say. Why would you think I'm defending the fucking guy? Are you out of your mind? What I'm saying is, if you were already okay with all that shit and you still watched his content and you still supported it, then why is that changing now? You must have already separated the art from the artist, right? So then,
I mean, as I said, like, it depends on the shit that goes on. Some stuff is easier to overlook than others, and when you do inappropriate stuff with a minor, a lot of people are gonna start turning their heads and be like, and start thinking a little bit. Like, come on.
He's gonna need it because he's not gonna have any sponsorships anymore, right? His life is about to change in a very dramatic way because of this. So why wouldn't you? So some people are saying because kids are involved now. I mean, fair enough. Maybe this is
kids are involved. Fair enough.
The moment that you found out that this guy was being a scumbag, and essentially abusing his celebrity, because that's exactly what this is a case of. It's literally over and over and over. Someone who has gained celebrity, gained fame, gained power.
Dude, this is so lame to just say, oh, it's because he's a celebrity. Dude, he's the guy like anyone else, and he did some fucked up shit. Like,
no actual way to control himself with that power. He's abusing it again and again,
whatever,
and again and again, right?
Right.
So once you've seen it the first time, okay, fool me once, shame on me. Then you see it the second time, oh, fool me twice. But what you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times?
Wait, you got the saying wrong.
So once you've seen it the first time,
fool me once, shame on me. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, down to hell I go.
Okay, fool me once, shame on me. Then you see it the second time, oh, fool me twice. But what you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times do you need to be fooled? And give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Is this it for you? I'm curious. Is this it for you, and why? Is it because now he's admitting he was sexting a minor? Did he know that it was a minor? Does it matter?
Oh my God! Listen to this! This dude is so brain dead! Listen to this chain of thought.
Is this it for you, and why?
Why?
Is it because...
Someone already answered this, by the way, saying it's because kids are involved.
Now he's admitting he was sexting a minor?
They admitted he's sexting a minor.
Did he know that it was...
Did he know? He just read the edit where it says he did. And he's saying, did he even know? See what I mean when he reads corrections and it's just like, oh, he added minor, huh? He just saw that and did and just out of his head immediately, just moved on already because this dude is like, it's funny. He describes 8 people with ADD that kind of way, and he acts the same way apparently. So maybe he has it. Maybe that's what he needs. He needs medication. But I've been hearing it. ADD medication's been hard to come by these days because of all this stuff going on with the drug companies. It's kind of something else. So maybe that's what's going on. He ran out of medication. And he can't get a refill. Oh shit!
That it was a minor. Does it matter? That's the point I'm making.
Does it matter? My guy, like, I said it wouldn't have mattered if it was like, if it had no risk of continuing or going anywhere. But since this was an ongoing discussion, and people are like distancing themselves from Dr. Disrespect, I think it kind of paints a picture that it does kind of matter. Because again, you send DMs inappropriately to a minor that by the way. It's not like, oh, this person was just DMing a random person online and had no clue. It was just, he knew it was a minor after, and then did it. Like, and he admitted that. I kind of don't think, like, come on, like, and again, if he said, I did have an inappropriate conversation with a minor, and I apologize to the minor, to the person, like, thereafter or whatever for my actions, and I've decided to not, do, or whatever, just apologize or whatever. That might have gone a completely different direction. But the dude just said, yeah, I did it. Yeah, it's fucked up, but, I'm gonna take a break, and that's it. Like, okay.
Does it even fucking matter? The guy already knew about the wrong behavior from the past, and he continued the incorrect behavior. The morally reprehensible, whether it's legal or not, doesn't really matter. He continued the morally reprehensible behavior. So why did you keep watching? Why did you keep supporting? Think about it, if you are.
Dude, they just said kids were involved. How were they supposed to know before? We didn't know why he was banned in the first place, dumbass. How was anyone supposed to know? Oh, he must be texting minors because he had an affair. What kind of logic is that? With that logic, like, think about it. Kat cheated on Superman with DSP. Does that mean she's gonna start texting minors? No. I'm not gonna assume that. But DSP apparently says it's okay to assume that. Like, again, these kind of accusations and situations are really heavy and big. I don't think we should be normalizing the jump in conclusion to cheating on someone with talking to minors inappropriately. Like these two things are not related, like, at all.
Are a supporter of his. Why did you keep watching, and why did you keep supporting? I'm just curious, because I would have dropped him ages ago. That was my case. If I was going to have a moral problem with this guy, I would have had it 100 years ago.
But what if my moral is like, well, he cheated on his wife, and maybe they can work things out, or they're gonna get a divorce. Hopefully, she divorces him, or whatever the fuck. Blah 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 blah. But I draw the line when you start being inappropriate to minors or whatever. Like, how is that, like, why isn't that, like, okay, understandable? Because again, one is involving another adult. Like, I guess it depends on who he cheated with. Like, okay.
Not all of a sudden today because of a tweet. Right?
Again, people told him because kids were involved, but
that's my
But
take.
again, he's weighing the cheating higher than sexting a minor. Now, again, as I said, if it was just a DM and it went nowhere and all this other stuff, that's one thing, which is a different case altogether. But the fact that it just kept going, in my opinion, it just kind of, it kind of is like a little problematic, because that's how a lot of things start. It starts off that way, and then before you know it, something's gonna happen. Like, who's to say that it wasn't gonna progress after?
You could disagree, but the way I see is, this is it for him. His life's about to change in a very bad way. Now that this has all come out.
You just say you wish
'Cause
him the best.
You know the other.
You know what's
the
funny?
other-
He says about Rich and everyone else, I wish him the best. I wish him the best. You should say that about this guy, right? Correct?
other topic here is essentially some people are saying, now wait a minute, why didn't Twitch just say all this publicly back then? Right? Why didn't they? It's a good
Well,
question. If Twitch
It's probably because they either wanted to do Dr. Disrespect a favor or just like, look, we want you to leave and look, we won't tell anyone about this because it may hurt your image. So we'll just give you the settlement and all this stuff. It like that's probably what it is, because it probably wasn't damnable to be like to go to court over because it was just DMs. I mean, again, there's a lot of like things at play here that it's just like, you know, that's probably why they settled in the first place. They probably were just like, look, he probably could technically win the lawsuit if it continued, but they also understood, hey, if these DMs do go out and we tell this, he may lose his career. So why not just, hey, we'll pay out the settlement and we will not discuss what happened. That way he gets the money and he walks off and they don't have him on the site anymore and he gets to have his job after the fact. It could just be as simple as that. Because again, if it was just DMs, like it's not illegal. The legality gets into play when you start to like get a little more involved or invested in the person you're talking to. Like that's kind of when things start to like move. You know what I mean?
Twitch really felt that they were in the right, they should have just outright said everything that was going on during the ban, right? 4 years ago. Well, I guess it's almost 4 years ago, right? Like, why didn't they? Why did they keep it under wraps, right? I don't know. So it's a weird situation for sure, because a 4-year thing now gets exposed, and now we're all like, how do we deal with this?
How do we
Right?
deal
And what
with
does this mean
Where
for content
do
creators
I
moving
go
forward?
now?
In truth,
What does this mean for the content creators going forward? I don't know, DSP. Maybe they should just make content, stream, whatever the fuck, and then just be normal and not like slide into people's DMs. Like, again, that's what people accuse him of doing all the time, and he just slides into people's DMs and fight them out. Like, it was more problematic with Panda Lee because she was like 17 going on 18. Kat, she was a little bit more older, because she was like in her 20s by the time that DSP got a hold of her. But it was still like he got in contact with fans, and that kind of is a little alarming there. You know what I mean?
no, Doc did not win the lawsuit. That is completely incorrect. Doc Disrespect did not win the lawsuit at all. It was a settlement. Twitch did not want it to go to court. They felt like it was going to be too much to be dragged out in court, and they just settled to get it to go away. He did not win. That is incorrect.
He did not win. But again, so this is what I mean. Earlier, he literally said Twitch settled because they would have lost. Twitch would have lost. That's why they settled. Now he's saying that he didn't win. But then he said also later on that he did win, even though I think it was a dropped input. He was supposed to say would have, but instead he just said he won.
All right, I'm going to get rid of this idiot who says I'm defending a pedophile. I'm not defending a pedophile, you fucking idiot. Get the fuck out of my chat.
Dude, this
Not
is
at any
like
point
a
during the show did I
rerun
defend
of
it.
the show with EDP. Like, I just can't believe that EDP had like all this evidence that this came out that showed him doing shit with kids, and DSP is just like, well, he was caught being accused of being a pedophile, man. But it's like, no, he wasn't caught being accused. He was caught doing stuff that was pedophilic actions, man. Whatever.
Defend a pedophile. You're a fucking moron.
Like, you can kind of tell he's also like low-key kind of scared to talk about it. But if that's the case, again, if you're not comfortable talking about a certain subject, just don't talk about it. Like, if you don't have the knowledge or the confidence or anything about the subject, like, this is the perfect example of this was during the Side Scrollers interview when he confronted Keem about the Minecraft stream or whatever, and he did not know, he didn't remember any detail at all, and was like, yeah, Keem, you did a video on the guy, but the person with the hands, and he like, you said he did bad things, but like he didn't, but it was like but it ruined his life because you said he did bad things, but like, you know? And he was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know what I'm talking about? It's out there, man. There's things online about you, Keem. You know that, right? They're saying that you did stuff about this other guy who did other stuff. And I was like, what kind of, like, why bring it up if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Like, this is stuff you learn from, like, doing, like, just hang out in social circles. You talk to people and you realize, and when you get that reaction of, like, what? You're like, oh, I should have known a little bit more. Okay. But since he has none of that, because, you know, Kat, I don't think has any pushback on any conversation they have in that household. He is not used to it, so he didn't feel like he needed to prepare for anything. And then when Keem showed up, he just decided to throw that out there without anything. So it fell off a cliff. The whole thing. The thing that he tried to catch Keemstar with, it just fell off a cliff. And even I only know vague things, and I'm not even gonna bother because I don't know enough. Because why would I fucking talk about it? I don't know enough. I'm only talking about what I know, or I can, like, know what I can point you to. If I can, like, the Dr. Disrespect thing, I could point you to the tweet because, like, he tweeted about it and it's pinned or whatever, and all this other shit. Like, you can find that, but I'm not gonna sit there and start saying about something that's, like, 10 years ago, and, like, hope to God you remember what I'm talking about, unless it's, like, very specific. Oh my God.
So I don't know. Wrong. He did not win. Boy, you guys don't understand the United States legal system.
And then he mocks them. Do you?
You do not at all, do you?
I love he says this, but he bragged yesterday or one day, whatever, how he has an international audience and like 50% or whatever are in Europe or whatever. So maybe they don't know Phil. They're European.
Here's how the legal system
Or
works.
they're Jade.
Okay?
Or Derek.
Someone is going to sue someone for a civil reason. Okay? So what ends up happening is
I like how he
starts saying
he starts saying civil because Dr. Disrespect said civil, so he's now saying it.
It goes to a court, and the court reviews the case and says, okay, there's a legal precedent here for this to happen. All right? Then the parties get together to talk about it, and two things can happen. Number one, it can actually go to a trial where each side has to prove either innocence or guilt with a reasonable doubt.
Wait, I thought you don't need to prove your innocence because you're innocent, and they have to prove you're guilty. Why do you have to prove your innocence, Phil? I thought, isn't that how he says all the time happens in court, is that you don't have to prove your innocence, you have to prove you're guilty, which is like, that's not true. It's you have to oh my God, I had it earlier like a second ago, and that proven guilty no, it's innocent until proven guilty. He thinks that applies to like lawyers, when that saying is applied to like people watching the trial and the jury, because they can't just assume they're guilty and then make a verdict. They have to like assume they're innocent, and then they can look at the evidence. Like that's it. But he keeps conflating it with like everything. And then like with this, it's like, well, now they prove they're innocent, but they don't, Phil, according to you.
And that determines a verdict, and the verdict says guilty or innocent, and what the repercussions are of that, you know, the sentencing. Or if it's innocent, it goes away. Or if you don't want to go through that incredibly lengthy process that could be very expensive and time consuming, you can just say, we go away, let's just do a settlement. Twitch, being a giant company with a ton of money, said, we don't want to go to trial and have this entire thing go drag.
Look how the tone changed. Literally in the beginning of this video, he said that, oh, they settled because they were gonna lose. Now they settled because they don't want to deal with it. And this is like the other underlying problem with this segment, is that he both hates Dr. Disrespect and Twitch. He hates both of them. So he cannot like rationally look at the events and say, okay, well, I could see why Twitch did this. Twitch probably did this for that reason, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Instead, it's just, Twitch sucks, Twitch is stupid, they suck ass, Dr. Disrespect sucks ass too. But, you know, And it's like, what the fuck is this take? Like, again, this is why he shouldn't talk about this kind of shit, because he lets his biases control him.
Through the mud, it's going to probably be bad. Even if we win, it'll be bad for us overall. Too expensive, too time consuming. We don't want to be in the public eye in that negative way. Let's just pay this guy some money to make it go away. And that's exactly what they did. They said, here, we'll just pay this money and leave us alone. And Dr. Disrespect said, okay, I agree, and took the money. Now I want you to think about this.
Think about
If
this.
Dr. Disrespect really was so fucking upset with the fact that he was wrongfully terminated from his contract with Twitch, and he felt that it was a moral problem there and they need to be taught a lesson, wouldn't he have just gone to trial anyway and said, I'm not in this?
This segment is far more painful than I remember. I just thought it was stupid because he just kind of like just said a lot of shit. This dude acted like, I said it before and it keeps being proven. This dude is only reacting to news as he's like in real time. Like he's not like, he didn't read the tweet and then come up with an idea to talk about. It was just, I'm gonna read the tweet and talk about it and all this other stuff. So he can say dumb shit and then later on be contradicted in the same video, which is embarrassing. You're not gonna like fucking think about what you're gonna respond to. He reads a tweet on the air, and then like suddenly his stance on Twitch changes. He changes his stance on why Dr. Disrespect got the settlement, and now he's saying, they said, oh, does it matter? Now he's saying, well, if he's innocent, then why didn't he go to court? As if he knew this, but then why didn't you start off with this? There's so much filler in this fucking segment that it just dilutes his point to massive damage, to the point where it's just like, you can't even listen to it. And this dude had the gall to say, oh, watch my podcast, I talk about the Dr. Disrespect, and it's like very thorough. No, it isn't. It is probably the worst, like, explanation of the situation I've ever sat through. Like, honestly, you probably had a better understanding of it from me than him, and I don't even give a fuck about Dr. Disrespect. I just know it's kind of inappropriate to send minors fucked up messages. But this dude is like going on and on about all this other shit where you just get lost. You get lost in what he's talking about. And he thinks this is a worthy segment to hype up, to tell people to watch. And guess what? I watched a little bit of today's podcast because I was doing laundry. And guess what he said? I got the end of it. He did a follow-up. This dude had to do a follow-up.
In this to win a settlement from you, I'm in here to prove that you guys fucked up and to change your system. But he didn't. He took the money and he ran and stayed on YouTube. Why? Because he was already printing money on YouTube from his fan base and he was still getting sponsorships anyway. So what was the actual real reason for all of it? Exactly right. Nothing to do with them doing the wrong thing or changing the system or being morally in the right. It was all about money, 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 money. And he got his money.
Man.
And that's why he took the settlement.
I don't want to hear him ever say that way of saying money ever again.
Yeah, but he didn't win any case. You're completely wrong to say he won a case. He did not win a case.
But,
right?
I mean, again, the fact that Twitch couldn't say why they banned him, I mean, I think that's probably why he took the settlement, because I don't think Dr. Disrespect wanted the DMs to go out, and he probably realized when the settlement was offered that the DMs would be made public, and he's like, oh, I should take the settlement. I mean, I can only assume that's what happened. But okay, whatever, sure.
Crazy.
Anyway.
So, yeah. So there you go. That's the full situation. I am insanely shocked he made that tweet. That is a career-destroying tweet.
A career ender.
He actually didn't have to legally even say a word at all. He could have just stayed quiet forever. That is crazy to me that he outright said that shit.
Oh, man.
Right?
Right? Correct?
Sarah says, do I wish that I took Twitch to court when they banned me? Well, let me put it this way. If
I don't give a fuck.
Kind of stuff is to be rich. So you already need to be rich, money to do it. You know, that is really the problem in the United States, is the only way you can have to be a transformative work
But like that's why you sue though. Like you can maybe make whatever. I don't think he says anything else. I'm just gonna check the AI. Reason for the Twitch ban revealed. Separating art from the artist. Shock over tweet legal. Analyzing Doc's past wrongdoings. Okay, let's.
Anyway, so that's what's going on with the Dr. Disrespect situation. If anything else happens, all right, we'll talk about it again. But the way I see it, like that's my take, is there was already a history of wrongdoing. The fact that people, for some reason, kept giving this guy the benefit of the doubt, and now they're shocked that he's admitting even more heinous wrongdoing is pretty stupid and hypocritical. Maybe you should have seen the writing on the wall ages ago and stopped supporting the guy to begin with when he did the first 5 wrong fucking things, but you're so dumb you just kept fucking going back. And now all of a sudden you're shocked because he did this? I'm not shocked. That's the kind of person these people are when they show this stuff. You know, there's tons of content creators out there that they can deal with their celebrity fine. They don't go crazy. They don't go over the top. They don't do heinous actions. And then there's some who do horrible things, right? And so why keep supporting those who are doing the horrible things when there's tons of other people out there who can deal with it fine? I don't get it. Because I got to be part of the viral movement. I got to be part of liking what's popular for popularity's sake. Okay, whatever you say. I mean, really, that's how you want to live your life, right?
This attitude of like people support
you don't even know what else to say.
Whatever.
Keeps fucking gifting fake memberships, accusing me of being a pedophile. My ex-girlfriend was 18 when she messaged me.
No. Leanna actually admitted that they were messaging when she was 17. Like, come on.
Never even spoke to her or knew of her existence on planet Earth until.
And this is also weird to say. I didn't know of her existence until she was 18. I mean, that doesn't make it sound creepy at all. Like even like outside of the age thing, the fact that like you just kind of it's kind of like these accounts that count down until a girl turns 18 to then start like sexualizing her. Like it's that level of creepiness from DSP that I get from him saying shit like this that I find is problematic from him, because again, these are people, dude, and he's like, oh man, she's 18. Okay, like that. You don't think that's a problem? You don't think that maybe you shouldn't be acting that way? Okay.
Until she was of legal age.
Of legal age.
Incredibly stupid mouth drooler.
Yeah, man. I only waited until she was 18.
Go to Mars.
How did you know she turned 18? Like, you know what? That's a very good question. How did DSP know she turned 18? How did she know she was 17? Did he go into her DM when they were talking and was like, hey, are you 18? No, not yet, Phil. Okay. Next year. Are you 18 yet now? Yes, Phil, I'm 18. Okay, good. So you want to fuck? Like this dude thinks it's like a win to say I waited till she was legal age. That just sounds creepy. Like you wait till she was legal. I mean, good for you, I guess. That at least you have standards of waiting until the legal age. But you didn't want someone that's, I don't know, closer to your age. I mean, I always thought it was weird. He was like in his 30s, and it was some random video that he was like, I'm celebrating my girlfriend's 21st. I was like, dude, you're not even like in your early 30s. Like he was like 34 or 33 or whatever the fuck. Like regardless, he was in his 30s. And I was like, you're gonna celebrate your girlfriend's 21st? That's a huge leap. And then when the reveal was when she was 18, I was like, holy shit, this dude is fucking creepy. So he's not defending himself from the creepy allegations at all. Like if he's not a pedo, then he is just a massive mega creep. So come on,
burn up, leave us alone, you fucking idiots.
You fucking idiots.
People are just so dumb.
I waited until she was legal. And cool.
By the way, that's been factually proven for years and years and years. But again, because so many people say something and they're so dumb,
man, he's so lucky Leanna moved on with her life.
They just start to convince themselves of it with absolutely.
I like to imagine someday in some timeline, Leanna's gonna open a stream again, and she's gonna just air out everything because it's gonna be like, I want to stream and I don't want people like to bother me, so I'm just gonna air everything out and then just say everything. I just want to imagine that.
It's the same thing as, well, Phil was never good at Street Fighter. Oh wait, except that there's actual factual evidence of him winning multiple tournaments, beating top players like Justin Wong. But we'll ignore all that. He was never good at Street Fighter, right? Because we said it. Right?
Well, you get mad at a lot of dumb shit in Street Fighter anyway, so
Stupidity.
Stupidity.
All right? If more developments happen in their right mind.
Okay, I'm over this. I want to see. Let's do a vibe check on his fucking stream.
Like really reflective top.
Oh,
It's almost like a layer of glass. So
A layer
the
of
glass cleaner
glass?
is perfect. Clean it.
What if I have a fight stick? I mean, a hitbox.
The hat's right here. And put it on when we boot up. Relax. Basically, I kind of had a big head. Being a good human.
God.
Always conversations with other women.
No.
Sexual misbehavior. It's just,
Oh,
it all happened.
no.
Then there was this thing at the convention. Now,
Oh, no.
does that mean that all the musical work that he did, now they're re-releasing it as a more modern game with better graphics and everything on PC? And I think I might start it this week. I'm actually very interested in it. And that would be a good late night chill stream. We could leave it open. It's
Okay.
opening out on the React show a couple. That's pretty cool. It's funny they have the mist area turned into a tourist attraction. Everyone dumps their garbage. Wow. No, I've never heard of that. Parried a mist called pissed. He says, it's funny they have the mist area turned into a tourist attraction. Everyone dumps their garbage. I do want to get through the topics, and we still have the Dr. Disrespect standing medium kick with the M by stuff.
Oh my God.
Or was it 2021? It was either employees of Twitch started speaking out about.
Oh.
Because it had been under wraps and behind NDAs and court hush orders and stuff for years, but former employees of Twitch started speaking out about it, saying the reason that he was banned from Twitch was because he was basically sexting a minor.
I guarantee. Okay, I'm doing a prediction. I'm predicting he only is doing a follow-up because he wants to damage control how we talked about it, which is dumb because the information was all done yesterday. And he could have just spent time thinking, but this guy doesn't have time to think. He's a very, he can't, form sentences sometimes. I just think at some point he should just learn maybe he doesn't need to talk about everything.
Via Twitch Whispers, and they called him out for it, and then basically banned him from the site. And then he felt that was wrongful termination of his contracts to stream and have a partnership on the site. He sued them in civil court, and Twitch decided to just settle for several $1 million, and that was that. That was the situation. However, no one ever publicly talked about it because I guess they felt it would have hurt Dr. Disrespect's, reputation, but also probably Twitch's as well.
Wow.
Who knows, right?
I said this.
But anyway. That's
okay.
What's going on. He publicly admitted yesterday on Twitter that, yes, he did all this stuff. But his claim is that he never intended to ever act on the messages. He knows that they are inappropriate and he apologizes, but he's not a pedophile and don't bring him into that category. And he basically swore a whole lot because he was so angry about the situation. I don't know what he's angry about.
I don't know what he was angry about. DSP. If you're accused of being a pedo, I don't think you're gonna, not be angry. I'm just gonna say that, right? If you don't think you're a pedo and someone's saying you're a pedo, I don't think you're gonna be like, oh, you. You're probably gonna be a little pissed about it. But whatever, okay, let's continue.
He was the one who did it. What is he so pissed off about? I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up again today
because he didn't think this. I can't believe how stupid this guy is. I just don't know how his brain works, if it works at all. He can't think for a second that, okay, yeah, Dr. Disrespect was probably upset at people accusing him of doing things that he didn't act on because he just made inappropriate DMs to a minor. But people are just like, hey, look, this could lead to other stuff that's also fucked up. Whatever, all that shit. I've said this thousands of times at this point. But of course he's gonna say, and then he's gonna be upset about it because he doesn't want to be accused of a criminal. Because technically, he didn't commit the crime. It's just that he made DMs that people were like, "Hey, this could lead to something," and all this other stuff that's inappropriate. Okay.
Yesterday, as I was talking about the story, I had a common thread of thought, and the common thread of thought is that this guy is a repeat offender. And what I mean by that is, if you follow his history, you would see that he has a history of misconduct. So why are people defending the guy? Why did people continue to watch the guy when you know that he has a history of bad misconduct? And we even debated the idea of separating the art from the artist, right? When Michael Jackson was accused,
all right,
right? When Chris Benoit still liked the guy and when you still watch Iced, he's going to lose all his sponsorships, all his partnerships. No one's going to want to associate with this guy. And he's going to have a very limited viewer base because a lot of people don't want to be associated with someone who was sexting a minor. Okay? Now, I made a mistake. Here's where I made my mistake.
Oh, God.
I said that this guy has a pattern of misbehavior. Okay? I basically said, number one, he's openly admitted to cheating on his wife. Correct? Like, we already know
I'm getting scared. I'm scared of what's gonna follow. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna say. I'm scared to find out. This dude has found ways to like strike fear into me.
Openly admitted it publicly, apologized for it, said that he was going to change and become better, and to our knowledge, he's still with his wife. His family's still together, so maybe he has changed for the better. But he publicly admitted to doing this. That's number one. Number two, in a convention, he literally walked into a public bathroom with a full film crew and started filming people pissing and doing things in the bathroom, thinking that it was funny. He violated everyone's privacy at the convention. They kicked him out and banned him from the convention, and he almost got arrested for it, except that he basically blamed it on the crew, saying it was their idea, and so he got it pinned on someone else so he wouldn't get into trouble for it. Okay? So that's just two examples. There's more than that of things that he's done over the years, but those are kind of the two most egregious examples.
All right.
And what I said is, so you've got a pattern that's established. He cheats on his wife. He does this thing at the convention.
Can we get to the point? We've heard this.
Thing after thing. It would have been one thing if this was the first time that he had done something wrong. He admits fault, says
this is like the like when you get a vaccine and you get a shot. It's like the anticipation of the shot is what's like you're on edge a little bit. It's like, when are they gonna do? When are they gonna do? Oh.
Then you give him the benefit of the doubt, correct? But in this case, it's a pattern of misbehavior that continues.
Okay.
So you know he's probably not going to change. He's just the kind of guy
What's the mistake?
Okay? Well, actually, guys, I was wrong. And I am willing to admit when I am wrong. I was absolutely wrong about the pattern of misbehavior. And I want to clarify because I feel like that misrepresents the situation. And that's information that I didn't have at the time. But people have looked into the situation, found more information, and I want to share this information with you. Okay? So this is an update to yesterday's story. It's actually a pretty big update. You ready? All right. So here's where I made my mistake. I said there was a pattern of misbehavior, correct? I said he cheated on his wife.
Oh my God! You said this now 3 times! 3 times! I'm like so annoyed at his redundancy. It's like obnoxious. Like, I would be more forgiving if this dude just learned the English language. Like, but he was born here. He was born in America. He didn't just learn English. Like, oh my God, dude, come on.
It comes out that he's sexting a minor. Well, people investigated the timeline. All right? Here's the actual timeline of events. All right? This TwitchCon, where all this bad stuff apparently went down, ran from October 20th to 22nd, 2017. So almost 7 years ago. All right? And basically, that was the TwitchCon where Dr. Disrespect cheated on his wife. Okay? The woman in question was 24 years old.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Right? I believe Dr. Disrespect was like...
Are you serious? Because, dude, the point that he was making in that stupid podcast was that he did 2 things that was fucked up, and you're surprised that he did this? like, whatever. Okay.
Was like either in his late 30s or early 40s at the time. So he cheated on his wife with a 24-year-old. So it was legal and everything, right, to do it, but pretty awful. And then he actually publicly admitted 2 months later on a stream in December 2017 of his wrongdoing. Like, that was when he came out and said, I've done this, and I apologize for it, and I promise you I'm gonna do better. Okay? Fair enough. So for me, that was like the first outright evidence of misbehavior from this guy. I was wrong. Because, ladies and gentlemen, people have investigated this situation. This sexting that he did with a minor actually happened right before that TwitchCon. Okay? Now, this puts a whole new wrinkle on the situation.
No, because DSP, if the minor that he talked to is obviously not the same person he was cheating on, stupid. Is that what he's saying? Because again, if it was a 24-year-old, then why would Dr. Disrespect say it was with a minor? Please tell me that's not what you're going with. Because that would be really stupid. I hope you're not that stupid.
All right, for two reasons. Number one, basically it's the same misbehavior. Basically, at this TwitchCon,
oh my god,
he was looking to get laid, right? And he was basically probably talking to a lot of different women. This minor was one of them, but apparently there were more of legal age, and he ended up hooking up with one of them actually at the con, and that's how he cheated on his wife. And then
how does that make it better? How does that it actually makes it worse then? Because if he was fishing for women and all this stuff, and he talked to a person he knew was a minor, what does that tell you? I don't know. I don't know what this guy is going on about, but this is a scary route he's going down.
Okay? So I was wrong about the timeline. It's basically all happened at once. So honestly, is there actually a pattern of misbehavior? Well, yeah, but all the misbehavior kind of happened all in one really...
I hate the pattern bullshit. Stupid. He was with his wife. He has a wife, and he's cheating on other people, on multiple women that he was trying to get with, to have sex with. Whatever. Okay.
Short period of time, right before then that TwitchCon. So it very well could be that all happened then, and then he really did apologize. His wife forgave him, and maybe they actually have been faithful, and everything's been fine since then. Okay? I don't know. I don't live with the fucking guy, nor do I care. This is all just coming out now, and, obviously everyone wants to talk about it, right?
Oh my god, and that's what he's talking about! This is the bullshit with this fucker. He only wants to talk about it because everyone else does. And then this guy will say, I'm different from everyone else. I'm so different, I don't do what other people do. But he's talking about this because everyone else is. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. And he mocks other people. Oh, other people should make videos about me because other people do it. And they do it to fit in. Oh my god, man. I can't with him.
That's the time. So I was wrong yesterday. There actually is no real pattern of sexual misbehavior. It's just, it all happened during that one TwitchCon. So, and perhaps since then, everything's been fine. There's been no evidence past that anything bad has happened after that. Okay.
Oh my god, man.
However,
and
I
then
don't necessarily think this makes the situation any better, because here's why.
Okay, at least he says it's not better.
Dr. Disrespect on Twitter yesterday, when he admitted sexting this minor, he said it was just words and there was no intentions behind it, and I had no intentions of ever doing anything with this minor. All right. Except he did sleep with someone at that TwitchCon. So he did have intentions of actually having sexual activity with someone other than his wife at TwitchCon.
All right.
And it was someone who probably he was talking with Twitch DMs, just like this minor. So it might just be that he dodged the bullet.
You know what? You know what's really bullshit about this, though? You know what's really funny about this? That's so funny. He brought this up on yesterday's podcast. That he tried to get to meet with them in TwitchCon and all this stuff. He said that, and now he's saying this as if this is a new discovery. But DSP, as I said, people were just looking at what the DM said and said this is problematic behavior because that's how it always starts. They say this shit and then what follows is the issue. Usually, this dude is so dumb. I just don't think he should have even mentioned Dr. Disrespect. He should have just kept his mouth shut. Like, man, I will give everyone freedom of speech but Phil. He should not have the freedom to talk. He's the only one. Like he is the guy that people will use as an example to get rid of freedom of speech. He is the guy. He's the one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he just ended up with the girl who was legal instead of the girl who wasn't. But this makes it absolutely look like he actually had intentions to cheat on his wife at TwitchCon.
But that's
no
why,
matter
like,
what, like
he says this, but this is what people were telling him yesterday. People were saying this yesterday. Even last week, when the accusations dropped. And this guy is like, I just learned this. Oh, man.
And now, him saying, oh, well, it was no intentions. Well, there were intentions because you then did those bad things with somebody else. So what are you talking about? See what I'm saying? So, I just, again, the whole point here for me is he never should have done any of this. You are one of the biggest, most prominent video game content creators. You are riding the gravy train. You're getting rich. People like you.
Man.
You're making tons of money. You're starting to get attention and sponsorship deals and show up at shows as a guest. Why are you on Twitch in whispers and DMs having explicit conversations?
Because he's a
with
creepy
other
guy.
women
I mean, like,
when
dude,
you're
come
married,
on.
and then why are you cheating on your wife?
There's a lot of problematic people out there.
Loser
Like,
idiot.
come on.
This is a key example of someone who is not set for fame, has no idea how to handle it, and completely misuses that power that he gets when he becomes
I just don't think this is
100%.
I just don't think that that's a good excuse, in my opinion. Because again, how the fuck do you go through life? You learn, hey, don't like be a shitty person to other people. Don't, whatever, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated, etc., etc. How the fuck do you go from that to then saying, I'm not gonna fuck that. I'm just gonna be a creep to everyone. Like, dude, come on.
He had no
Whatever.
level of maturity or anything in him. But let's be honest. This is a man who literally dresses up like a knockoff G.I. Joe and screams at a camera all day as a cartoon character.
And now we're back talking
Do you
about his
really think
content.
he has any maturity to begin
Of
with?
course.
He got popular for being a fucking immature.
Dude, with this logic, you could say, well, Pee Wee Herman was not, I don't know his actor's name. Sorry. Wasn't mature because he rode a big tricycle and made noises. But this dude also makes noises and, like, does fucking clown shit, too. There's literally streams of him doing screams and shaking his jowls and all this stuff. He really has no room to complain, no room to talk. He even calls putting on a hat and glasses as playing dress up. What's he? What am I? 4 years old playing dress up? And now he's saying this. DSP, fucking shut up. Fucking shut up and play the game.
You're an idiot. So, of course, he doesn't have any real maturity in his body at all. But the thing is, maybe he did learn. Maybe he has changed. But does it matter that 7 years later it came out and he's publicly admitted to having these explicit, wrong conversations with a minor, and then he actually cheated on his wife at that same convention that he was talking to the minor to possibly hang out with? You see? Yeah.
Yeah.
So my correction is my timeline was wrong. It's not really a pattern of misbehavior. Possibly it's only one time of misbehavior. But
This
man,
is
was it bad
so
misbehavior.
lame to sit there and say, "Oh, it's not a pattern." So in order for you to be a bad person and all this stuff, you have to do it multiple times more than once. I don't know. This dude is an idiot,
Right?
right?
Okay.
You gotta
I
establish
really
a
don't want to
pattern.
talk about this after today, but I wanted to correct
I
myself because
agree.
felt
I
bad
hope you
that I
never
said all
talk
this
about.
yesterday,
Yeah,
and
you feel
after all
bad.
this
Fucking
information
find
came out, I was like, oh, shit, I was
some
wrong
bleach.
about that
God
timeline.
damn it,
So
dude.
one of my major points is actually incorrect. So I've now
And it's a minor point.
I've now corrected
and
it.
like, you
However,
know, as I said, it wasn't even the timeline that mattered. He was saying, "You're surprised? Look what he did, man." And that still stands true because you can still argue. Whatever. Okay. Okay.
one more thing has come out.
Oh God.
Not about Dr. Disrespect particularly. All right, but I do want to mention this, and then we'll get on to other game news. I promise you. I don't want to talk about this all podcast today. Another former employee of Twitch has come out. All right, this person is Relim. Okay?
Okay.
At Relim714 on Twitter. And they posted this up yesterday afternoon. The Dr. Disrespect situation. I don't think most people have an idea of how bad things were behind the scenes at Twitch. I literally worked in the department that had access to the most data and information. I saw private whispers, etc. It was literally my job to investigate daily. I saw things every single day that I wish I never had to see. I always advocated for being a good human. Always expressed with heavy emotion on my streams how Twitch let pedophiles run free every day. I signed an NDA, and I'm afraid to get in trouble.
Okay.
But I have to say something. It's been bothering me for so long. These sick fucks don't deserve to be free. Sorry that this is pretty vague. I'm literally afraid for legal and safety reasons. I wish I could explain more, but I wanted to let you guys know. Half the shit you assume is probably true.
I'm just gonna say this. It might be a hot take, but if all you're saying is there's other people that are fucked up or whatever, I mean, do you really need to make that statement? I mean, that could be true about anything. Like, he has no backing source. He's not willing to name names or anything. I mean, he could be telling the truth, but I've never heard of this Relib 7 as a Twitch employee, but whatever, you know? But again, like, it's probably safe to assume there's other creeps out there. I mean, you know, this isn't a first-time thing, you know? Like, okay. Okay.
So essentially what this guy is saying is, I was in the department where you could see everything. It's not just Dr. Disrespect. Tons of these people on Twitch who are celebrities are doing this, and no one does anything about it. They just get away scot-free.
Why doesn't he do something about it?
I'm going to be honest
Whatever.
here.
I mean, it's complex. It is a complex
When I
situation.
started out on YouTube, and I was
Because again, like, if a victim comes out and says this person does it, you know, people may not believe the victim, and then the person who may have that she's accusing is her assaulter may, like, you know, fucking barrage her with, like, insults and, like, all this other stuff to make them, like, it's all this other stuff that happens. And it's also why a lot of people who come forward about harassment or whatever may not do it immediately, because they're afraid of being embarrassed, being humiliated, being discredited, all this stuff. This is, like, very, like, serious stuff that goes on, which is why I think, you know, I do think that people should, like, hold their judgment for when things are settled or whatever, but I also think that you should not necessarily write off someone who says that, you know, maybe she was assaulted or something, because you don't, you know, you may never know the truth by whatever means, but I don't think it's right to go after that. I mean, there's always people saying, like, well, what if is someone pretending that they were assaulted to get to extort someone or whatever? I mean, that does happen, but there, you know, again, as I said, like, I think it just needs a very calm reaction to things, because again, you don't want you know, there to make it an environment where nobody should be confronting people about misconduct, but you also shouldn't be believing stuff immediately. But it can go both ways. It's very tricky. Again, this is why it's very, like, it's a very tough situation for a lot of cases.
The prominence of my popularity.
Oh God!
When you start to feel like your shit doesn't stink, you're some kind of a special fucking snowflake out there, right? You get ideas in your head that you're high and mighty, right? And yeah, I totally get when you get people coming at you and they're kissing your butt upright, left and down, telling you that you're their fucking idol, and you know, oh my God, I love you and shit like that. I can get it. I get it. It gets to you. It gives
Are
you a
you
big fucking head. It
kidding
makes you
me?
feel like you're a
Dude,
superhero.
if a 13-year-old came up to you and was like praising you, you would understand having sexual urges? No, don't say shit like this, DSP. Just don't.
Superhero. Like you're fucking
What the fuck?
I'm also debating
Oh,
if I
God.
should do. Well, I'll correct my statement. Right? It's on me. I made bad that everyone was rooting for to actually. One thing is, I was in the department where you could see everything. It's not just Dr. Dis dominance of my popularity, right? And yeah, I totally get when you get people coming at you and they're kissing your butt up, right, left, and down, telling you that you're their fucking idol, and you know, oh my God, I love you and shit like that. I can get it. I get it. It gets to you. It gives you a big fucking head. It makes you feel like you're a superhero.
He
like
has
you're
that
fucking
now,
infallible,
though.
right?
He literally
You
has
can go
this
back
now.
to my time, my early days at YouTube, when
This dude is so
I went from being the
delusional.
underdog that everyone was rooting for to actually one of the more prominent gaming YouTubers for a couple of years there, right? I argue the years of 2011, 2012, and 2013. All right. Basically, I kind of had a big head. My shit didn't stink. I would just keep doing things. Even when people said, Phil, you're saying things that are irresponsible. You're doing things that are bad and toxic. You're making content
Bad
that's
and
not even up to
toxic.
par with what everyone else does.
You're toxic
You're
now, though.
expecting to get insane amounts of views and support when everyone else is surpassing you. They're going faster. They're doing direct capture, live streaming. You're not doing any of that. You're just sitting there with a camera pointed at your TV, expecting that people are just going to keep giving you this adoration.
He
and
does this
attention.
now.
But
People tell him he
falling
should get a
behind,
green screen,
right?
and he's like, "No, I
You
need a
wanna know
green
what
screen."
my headset was back then? It was, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay,
Gotten
yeah.
popularity
Yeah,
and
we heard
celebrity.
this. You heard this 1,000
You know how to
times.
handle it, right? It's on me. I made
Dude,
bad.
literally, this is not. He says this, and he's like, "Oh, there's a guidebook." But the thing is, stupid man, you don't need someone to tell you, "Hey, don't be an asshole." You know, whatever. Like, he can't just judge on his own how he should respond to people. He hates when people are shitty to him, but doesn't think, maybe I shouldn't be shitty to others. No, this guy has to be shitty to everyone because this guy's a fucking idiot.
Bad decisions. A lot of bad decisions during that time period early on. It was nothing like what Dr. Disrespect did or what apparently these other people are doing now
Okay,
in the modern
Pandaline.
era. Thankfully, I stayed in my fucking lane in that regard. I literally worked my ass off. I just kept pumping out content and making money on it when as they say, when the iron is hot, you strike, right? That's what I was doing. I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't getting into any
he said he was
shit, nothing
behind
like that.
from
I stayed away
whatever,
from that
okay.
shit because I didn't want to be involved in that. I just wanted to make content, make money, make content, make money. But my mouth would get me in trouble from time to time saying dumb shit, right? But it seems like these people, I mean, can we be really honest here? You're a fucking person who's probably a lifelong gamer, maybe kind of antisocial, who knows? Maybe you never really even had a lot of social interaction.
And
before,
now we're shitting on people who are antisocial or introverted, all this stuff. Like, this is shitty attitude. Honestly, if you're antisocial, I don't think you'd be having problems DMing minors. Because you're probably gonna be too nervous to do it. Does he even know what being antisocial is? Okay.
Within a very short period of time, you find yourself as a prominent person on the internet. Everyone likes you. Everyone says you're great. Everyone likes your content. All of a sudden, people are raining adulation and stuff on you. So now when people start to reach out to you in kind of...
I hate this I hate this shit right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he's really acting like it's a fucking cartoon.
I get that, but at the same time, that's
like,
why
he really thinks life is like a sitcom where like you get it big, you get sponsorships, and then you just lose sight of the little things and you become like a hot shot. But it's like that's not the case. I mean, people are just it's just how they're raised. And all this other stuff, all these other things that go on that may or may not even be related to their career. Whatever, okay.
You don't fucking do this shit. But, you know, that's absolutely insane to me. Insane to me. That these people thought it would be safe to use Twitch whispers as a way to talk doing this stuff, and that they weren't eventually going to get cut out for it. Are you insane? That's not even secure. You know, I don't condone the behavior. I condemn it. But I mean, even if you have an iota of intelligence in your fucking head, why would you be using the Twitch whisper system as a way to communicate with people like this?
Why would you cheat on your wife?
Idiot, right? Which, yes, Dr. Disrespect is literally one of the dumbest fucking people on this planet to have done that. I can't even think for a moment what went through his head that he thought that this was a good idea. Really. So, yeah.
Well, a lot of people probably thought that they weren't going to get caught out.
Here is, the timeline was wrong. He actually was texting this minor before he went to TwitchCon and cheated on his wife, meaning he probably had intent to sleep with her too, just that he didn't end up with her. He ended up with a different woman who happened to be of legal age. That probably makes this even worse for him.
All right.
But I was wrong in saying that there was a pattern of misbehavior. It really wasn't. It was like this one thing building up to this TwitchCon. And apparently,
man, all this because of the pattern shit. Like, dude, just fucking find a bridge already. Just
but
take a nice walk.
Essentially saying this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you look under the water, there's a humongous Twitch misbehavior iceberg, and it always gets signed away under NDAs, and no one can ever talk about it. Isn't that great? It's interesting, huh? You know, because I always told you guys how great.
He says this, but like, you know, we have Hollywood. You know, like Roman Polanski, as he said, Woody Allen, all these people, right? Like, I mean, it's just like, come on, man.
It was Twitch, how professional they are, right? I mean, I've only been saying this for how many years?
But see, this feeds his hate boner for Twitch, but because obviously YouTube has no problematic people at all, right? Correct? Even though, like, come on, and I hate that he blames websites for this when it's like the issue has always been like moderation inconsistencies. Some people get moderated harder than others and all that kind of shit. You know, whatever. But these are like, you know, it's just the usual thing.
People, no one listens to me except, you know, everyone wants to make me the meme.
Because you suck. You fucking suck, dude. I'm sorry, Phil. You suck ass. You're the worst person to even discuss this kind of shit. Like, man, imagine you're trying to expose like some sexual misconduct, and this is the guy you tell the information to. You're just shooting yourself in the foot at that point. He is the worst person to go to, the worst person to report on anything. Imagine if this dude was your news reporter. You would get the worst news, the worst. You would probably be radicalized into like thinking that like you should like do shit, and you'd be wrong because this guy is an idiot.
Say is wrong, right? But I've been telling you guys for years how unprofessional and fucked up that place is, that no one should really be streaming there because it's completely unsafe. It's a fucked up, immoral environment.
But Twitch banned Dr. Disrespect, though.
But it is what it is.
Whatever. Okay.
You know, there you go.
And again, we're just blaming this random guy on Twitter all wholeheartedly. Like, as I said, you can think about it and be like, okay, you know, maybe there is. But at the same time, who's to say this person's not writing the attention and just saying, oh yeah, there's more guys? Like, you know, you could be cynical about it a little bit, but you just have to be more critical about the information. This dude is not critical at all. He's a dumb fuck. He's a fucking drone that goes back and forth and is like confused where he's going. He needs directions on how to fucking breathe.
Let's continue on. Let's get to other news stories because I'm tired of talking about it. And I'll be honest with you guys, again, unless there's another major and his behavior, so I don't need to keep talking about it. We're
gonna unwind with gamer news
that updates this again.
Maybe now we'll be relaxed and really positive again.
I will. I'll correct my stance.
All right.
I felt like I kind of really.
Let's get positive.
When I read that and I was like, shit.
Okay, let's move on. Let's get to the gamer news.
All right.
Yes.
So.
All right. Here we go.
News, everyone. First of all, there's been some interesting news in regards to mobile ports.
Oh man, this is dumb.
Of full console games.
I heard a little bit about
that.
I'm just gonna say this. He's gonna talk about the news article saying that games like Resident Evil 4 Remake, Death Stranding, and Assassin's Creed did not sell very well on iPhone. And I just want to say, I don't know what they were expecting sales wise. I think as a tech demo, like, hey, look, the iPhone 15 can handle Resident Evil 4 Remake. that is cool. Like, you know, that it can handle that kind of workload. But these are like games designed to play on like at home or whatever for long periods of time. I don't think anyone's gonna be waiting in line anywhere and say, I want to play Resident Evil 4 remake. Let's go, like, or anything like that. You're probably gonna want to play like shorter games and all that. In my opinion. I think the iPad is the only exception because I think that would be a good idea to play like Death Stranding on or whatever because it's a bigger screen. You can also AirPlay it on the TV, whatever, and you can also connect a controller to it. So you have options at least. And I think the iPad makes a little bit more sense in the case of like, let's say that you want to watch something and then game, you can do that. I think it works in that kind of setting. But yeah, I'm not very surprised these games didn't sell very well because again, no one is buying an iPhone to play Resident Evil 4 remake or Death Stranding or anything like that. I just like come on. I don't think this is news. This just seems like a doomer article. Like, guys, oh my god, guys, it didn't sell. Oh.
I remember it was last year. There was like this big announcement at one of these digital events. Oh, there's
It was
now
Apple's keynote because they were selling the iPhone 15, which had better innards apparently, and all this other stuff. It had USB-C and all this other shit.
Mobile versions of all the games you want. Remember, they announced the new iPhone can now fully play like games that you play at home. And some of the games that they announced, Resident Evil 4 remake and Assassin's Creed Mirage. And I guess another one that I wasn't even aware of is Death Stranding, right? I remember they announced this last year.
Well,
these were a big announcement during one of the digital conventions. Now on your new iPhone, you can play full-fledged versions of console games now on your iPhone as if you're playing on a PC or console. And I said at that time, if you remember, my response was this simple. Who the hell wants to play those games on iPhone? If I can play it on my TV or my computer monitor with a proper controller.
No, this is dumb.
Great audio.
Again, you can add a controller to your iPhone and iPad. You can use the PS5 controller. They even sell PS5 controllers at the Apple Store for that very reason.
Quality and all of that. Why do I want to play it?
And there's all these other accessories that can like make a controller, but whatever.
Touchscreen phone, fucking around with
This
these.
dude is so stupid. He doesn't understand the current state of phone games. Like, you can literally you can make your iPhone a Switch in a way where you can just kind of have controllers like this. You slide the phone on, like there's all these options, and this dude is like acting as if these doesn't exist.
These motion controls with my thumbs, which probably aren't going to play well, with the little speakers shooting out music out the side over here, or fucking shitty ear.
Oh, and he doesn't even know the iPhone has like speakers all around, like not all around. That's a lie. It has it on the top and bottom of the phone, right? And they're pretty good quality in my opinion. But you can also use other headphones like these, or you can just plug one in or whatever. There's all these options. And he's acting as if there's no option, and you only have shitty earbuds, but earbuds have gotten better over time. This dude's an idiot. He doesn't know anything.
Earbuds, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I want to do that? And why would you even pay to play those on there when you know they're going to charge you top dollar for those games? Like, you're going to pay $50 for those games on the fucking phone?
Death Stranding was $20 even at launch on the iPad. And I don't know about Resident Evil 4 Remake or anything like that because I don't think my phone can even handle it, unfortunately. But they probably don't charge $60. They probably charge $20.
And then on top of that, phone batteries aren't even good. The iPhone running one of those games would probably last 2 hours, and the phone battery would probably die.
How do you know? How does he know? Okay, I don't want to look it up, but the iPhone battery has gotten better over time as well. But whatever, okay.
Right? So why in the holy hell would you ever want to play that on your phone? It makes no fucking sense, right? Well, guess what? We're a year after the announcements, and guess what, folks? The iOS ports of 3,000 copies fucking shit.
Wow, man.
It's on the phone. Okay? Very repetitive, easy to need a great graphical fidelity so they can run easily.
I just think good iPhone games should be like fun games like Dr. Mario.
Phone battery? That's the whole point. And by the way, the reason that it works on the phone is because of microtransactions. Let me get that.
I don't think you need microtransactions for a good mobile game. This is so stupid.
That's how it works. Okay?
This
No
dude loves
one is looking
microtransactions.
for full-fledged PC or console experiences on their phones. If that were the case, then all we would do is be playing everything on our phones right now. You know? What does work well on a phone is a movie or a TV show. Reason.
Are you stupid? Like, there are good options if you like are on the train or on an airplane or something, sure. But if I want to watch a movie, I kind of want to watch it on at most a TV.
Being that you don't have to interact with. There's no intelligence that you just hit play and you just let it play. You could fucking, oh, I missed a part of it. I'll just replay it. No big deal.
This dude literally just said, the iPhone has shitty speakers, and like, why would you want to do that, man? And now he's saying we can watch a movie. You know, the thing that utilizes sound probably better than video games? Man.
In a video game, you have to be actively paying attention when you play the game. No one wants a control-intensive experience with revolutionary graphics on a tiny fucking screen with mashing your thumbs with fucking touch controls. It's terrible. Now, what's hilarious is some people are like, oh, well, you can sync a controller. Oh, well, you could sync the iPhone with your TV. Oh, you mean like a console? Or on a PC?
Dude, he doesn't understand the marketplace for this. Like, that's why I think this article saying this is really stupid. I think these are for people who just either share a TV or, you know, or whatever. Like, it's for a very small audience. That's why I kind of feel the company that put these games out, they probably, I don't think they were expecting them to be blockbuster hits. That's why you're not seeing Death Stranding 2 day one on iPhone. I'm just gonna say that.
You see what I'm saying? Things you already have. You don't need it on the phone. You already have it. You see? You've proven my point. If you're saying, oh, well, you can sync those things to make it like something that already exists and is superior. You're right. That's what the point I'm making. You don't need these on the phone. And they've sold so poorly, it actually looks like the whole initiative to fully port full-fledged video games to phones is actually going to go away relatively quickly. So, there you go.
It's going to be really funny when it's not.
Continuing
because
on.
Apple's going to do another keynote in the fall. A new iPhone's coming.
There's a cool update to Street Fighter 6 that we are going to use today.
Oh, we're not listening to this. It's
going
to be using
that. I'm happy for quality of life improvement.
Okay, next news story.
No, the one that I would have loved is X-Men versus Street Fighter. Computer. So weekly games for July have been announced. They are Borderlands 3, NHL 24, and Among Us. And now try it out for yourself.
Time to shut on all of that, even though, like,
in a surprise announcement this morning,
Capcom
announced Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. It appears to be a full from the ground up remake of Dead Rising. The announcement was made via a teaser video released on YouTube.
Remaster.
And it basically shows Frank West saying, hello, is this thing on? It's Frank. Anyone out there? And they said, grab your cameras and prepare for the big scoop in Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. And they showed head-to-head comparisons. And basically, it looks like they designed it in the Resident Evil engine. So basically, it's Dead Rising 1.
In the Resident Evil engine, it's already in. I'm gonna be a little bit more kind because I understand the misconception. I get it. But it's called reaching the moon or reach for the moon, whatever the fuck engine, which is why it has a hand reaching for the moon. It's not Resident Evil. He only says it because they use it for Resident Evil 7, but this dude is just, and I think they corrected him on this, and he doesn't give a fuck because he's fucking stupid.
With insanely good graphics. Same game, it looks like same.
I kind of wish, like, I like the RE engine and all this stuff. I just kind of wish you went back to like style.
Those graphics are sick.
Like, I'm tired of like let's
really,
make it look
proprietary
like
engine that Capcom
human.
has for all their games right now.
Let's make them look realistic.
And it just looks so fucking good. Yeah, it's cool. But the one questionable thing about it, they already remastered the game in 2016, right? And it was basically a graphical upgrade, but I played it in 2016, if you remember.
But this is a remake then. If it's rebuilding the game, it's a remake. Remaster is just you're taking the original file and just making it look nicer, and then just re-releasing it. They're remaking it. Okay.
I liked it. Remember, the first run's difficult because you don't know everything. You don't have all the upgrades or items. Are they actually going to do anything to update it or whatever? because it looks like exactly the same game, like shot for shot, except with better graphics. If it's just a graphical upgrade, it's the same game from 2016, right? I mean, you're basically just paying for better graphics, which is kind of silly.
Man,
The 2016 game is
okay.
fine. You can play it right now. So I'm curious what they're going to do.
But how much should remakes remake the game and change stuff? I think the only thing they should fix or work on is making the AI a little bit better.
I don't know if you guys want me to play it again. I already played it in 2016. Did 2 runs of it, by the way. So
It
I
could
don't
be
know
a
if I
chill
would play
game.
it again, but
Whatever.
I guess we'll see. I don't think there was any solid release information yet on it. They just said that there's more information coming later this year, so I guess we'll have to keep our ears to the ground on that one.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
all right.
Epic Mickey Rebrushed
Oh, man.
is coming to the Switch on September 24th. All right. I don't know if I put that on my calendar yet.
All right. We're just gonna
Alright.
move on.
Number 1, you get 3 skins. Game. You can't remember having it. It was him with.
I don't give a fuck about Epic Mickey.
Because I don't know how many people, quite honestly, are going to care about Epic Mickey in the modern this. Let's jump into shoutouts.
All right, we're done. We're free, guys. But let's do a vibe check on. I pressed that button by accident. I was able to go to live. Whatever. Oh man. The dumb. Oh wow.
That's crazy. It's invincible.
What a cool name. Anyways. I get why. I get why now because of that. I guess. And in this resolution, it looks like he just has a mustache. So All right. Thank you for watching this stupid video. I hope you enjoyed it. This was 3 hours of hell. So you are now free from hell. You are free, everyone. You can now play Among Us on Xbox, or play a good game like SMT5 Vengeance. It's out now. You can play it. Fuse Jack Frost. Then get Black Frost, the best boy. Black Frost. He's cool. I mean, look at him. You're telling me this dude ain't cool? Look how cool this guy is. He has a little Jack Frost in his hand. He's ready to throw him. He's ready to fight. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye, and as always...
Time to skedaddle on out of here!